I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all wanna ring. Yeah, we all wanna be free. So show me what you got, what you bring. How you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing. Do you got heart? Are you mean? Got some scars, got some needs. Are you willing to go bleed? I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
Hello, my darlings, and welcome to another BS Live or Half-As Reflex, whichever you want to go, depending on where you are. Sorry. There we go. All right. So, hello, boys and girls. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful Friday evening. I hope your week has been exciting and thrilling. Thank you for joining me. If you are here for another episode of BS Live stroke Half-As Reflex. Probably have to do it in the edit. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, just want a quick reminder of everyone, if you could please go to Half-As Reflex and join or subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm trying to grow that channel in order to kind of move my content really over there, because I think this channel has been vastly attacked by the Matrix. The Matrix has attacked this channel repeatedly, and we are trying to find ourselves a new home, if you will. Or actually, I mean, on that score, I might just move to a whole new kind of content. I think maybe I don't know. Maybe I have to shift. I have to shift the content. But for now, if you haven't gone to Half-As Reflex, do so. Go. There's 115 videos already up there, and it's growing slowly. I'm gonna try and get out at the weekend this weekend and put some more boxing content, maybe some questions, relationship related questions. See how it goes. But yeah, that's where we're moving some of our stuff, boys and girls. So go over, click and subscribe if you could. So for this evening's entertainment, what do we have, everyone? Let me post the link for Hafiz over in. This is interesting. Let me. Sorry, guys. I'm still organizing myself here. Yeah, let me post it. Oh, big up, Son of Sam. Hope you are well, Mr. Sam. Now, I presume Son of Sam is Samad Agha. Is that Samad Agha or is that Sam from Speaker's Corner? You guys are. There's too many Sams. This evening's beverage, we are enjoying a Kahlua, vodka and milk, commonly known as a White Russian. Why are we enjoying Russians? Maybe we should be enjoying White Hungarians. I'm sorry, Sam. Yes doesn't actually mean anything. Are you Samad Agha? Okay. Post Samad Agha. Or are you Sam from Speaker's Corner? Post Sam from Speaker's Corner. Oh, are you trolling little bugger you? Because I know you are not giving a straight answer. Why? Why? Oh, why? Oh, why? Somebody said that's my primary school. That's my primary school. I saw it. That's my primary school. I saw it and heard it all. Oh my god. Damn. Someone opened one of my videos whilst they were at primary school. Someone's commented, I was in class while it happened. That's while it happened. What
Hello.
happened? Oh, I see. This little video shorts of mine that I opened, that I made. Somebody opened it whilst they were at primary school. I don't even remember doing this. I can't even
Got
remember.
a major update on the pregnant New York.
Shush. So many videos everywhere. Let me see. Are we watching what I'm watching? Yeah, you guys are watching what I'm watching. Okay. Yeah, this apparently opened. This is complete randomness. This came at random completely. Apparently someone opened this at a primary school and they heard all of it. I can't even remember when I did this. I swear. I have no idea when I did this.
I am here as a representative of the Muslim community for the Batley school area. We are very, very offended with our prophet being portrayed the way it has. This must stop immediately or there will be consequences. I'm not saying what type of consequences, but the consequences will be very, very bad for you, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hello, I am here.
I have no idea when this thing has taken a life of its own. Apparently, I have no idea when I did this. So yeah, that happened. And okay, back to the regularly scheduled program. That was completely random. I just read one of the comments. Okay, where were we? Yeah, we are opening. Oh wow! Oh, I saw this. I don't know whether I should play it though. If I play it, it's probably copyrighted. Yeah, it's probably copyrighted. I can't do it. But it was so good and so funny. Okay, all I say is play. Go to type in search Ram Jam, Black Betty, and just watch this black guy who smokes and plays. I can. Nah, without the music, it's useless. It's pointless without the music. It's just so funny with the music. If I play it though, I know I'm going to get copyright claimed for this, and I do not wish to be copyright claimed. Everything gets copyright claimed. It's such an arse, absolute arse. So yeah, I'm not even sure I can play some of the stuff I tweet out anymore, because tweets are now so much more edgy and sort of, you know, anti-woke or certainly against YouTube than ever before. So it's like, it's so hard again, to even like go through my okay, actually this is one that I may be able to actually play, because I can read this. It's not really yeah, let's do this one. I'm just filling in before we get to the headline. Of course, the main news today is the situation with the BBC. I want to go over that a little bit. But for now, I would like to
because
play this.
when women find out...
Oh, shut up. Start from beginning. It's you gotta listen to the video and then play, and then take the and then I gotta read what Sargon of Akkad has written, which is good. Okay, let's start with the video.
Conservative men are literally like, my politics are like stopping me from getting laid, because when women find out that I just don't think they should have like rights, and I just perceive them as like walking baby machines or sex objects, then they don't like me anymore and they don't want to have sex with me. So like, can we just talk about something else? No, we're gonna talk about this, and you're gonna have to explain yourself.
Okay, this forehead over here made that video, and Sargon responded as thus, which I thought was actually quite good. He says, "Gentlemen, this is a S test, shears test. She's secretly hoping for you to completely explain why you hold your illiberal opinions on women, and to completely explain illiberal opinions on women, and double down on them when pressed. When she pushes the boundaries, she really wants to enforce them, and the superior. She really wants you to enforce them and be superior to her in conviction. Your confidence and self-possession is what she craves, and what she's trying to provoke you into losing. It's what she craves, and what she's trying to provoke you into losing. There is nothing to be afraid of here. You have her attention, and she wants you. That's why she is even thinking about the conservative men, and not the pathetic leftist men she's surrounded by. She wants you to prove you are a man, and then she'll be yours. She'll be all yours. As I said, this is a test." So yes, he's saying this is a S test, which is what women do in order to see how firm you are in your convictions. If you fold, she will just put you aside with all the other leftist cuckolds that she's surrounded by, who fold every time she demands something, because, well, feminism. Hashtag lefties or feminists. So yeah, weak beta men who want to please her will automatically fold, and so that's why she's looking at conservative men. Otherwise, if she's got abundance of men, why would she even care what a conservative man looks? See, this is the thing. People of abundance don't care about those who disagree with them. They really don't give a damn. Why would they? If I have hundreds of women around me, and I have I'm available to hundreds of women are available to me. Do I care about this woman's opinion of not liking a conservative man? No, I don't give a crap. Jog on, lady. You don't like conservative men? Go and bang one of your limp-wristed lefties who has a pronouns of zer and zer, z and zer. I don't care. I don't care. But she cares about what conservative men think, because she wants you to be firm. She wants you to put your foot down and draw a firm line and say, no, We shall cross this no more. No more. But that's the thing. That's the thing. This is the test. She makes out as if she's disappointed or disapproving, but in reality, she actually wants you to affirm it and then take her. Take her in your arms, in your strong, manly arms, and she will melt in your giant biceps. Apparently that's the message. I don't know. Half the time, half this shit doesn't make sense. But it is true that those who are complaining about a thing is because they don't have abundance. They want the attention of the person that they're addressing. Otherwise, why would you care even what those people think? You just you jog on. You've got. I mean, if it was actually a little clip from the Andrew Tate interview with Tucker Carlson, where Andrew was like, do I really care if you're racist? Do I really care? No, I get in my Bugatti and I drive on. I don't care. He says the funny thing is you never meet a black millionaire and a white millionaire and they give a crap about race. They don't even discuss race. Millionaires are not in the business of giving a damn about race. It's the little guy underneath. It's the virtue signalers and those who want to profit from racism are the ones who care about race. That's why you don't see millionaires running around worried about race. They really don't. And even if they talk about it, multimillionaires, the Obamas and the celebrities, it's because they know that's a virtue signal. That's a form of profit for them. They're making money out of that. Otherwise, they don't really care. They don't give a damn. They have so much abundance that is the last thing that they really worry about. So yeah. So that is that. Now I did post a bunch of stuff on Twitter myself in regards to, for example, the Hugh Campbell thing. Well, actually, no, not Hugh Campbell. What am I talking about? This is the Hugh Andrews, I believe it is. Hugh Edwards and his proclivities, shall we say? Now, why is it that the BBC is constantly filled with essentially the nonsense? I mean, what is it about the BBC? Is this just how it's always been at the BBC? We're just now in this century, it's being exposed? Because, I mean, let's be honest, that disgusting man Savile went his entire lifetime without ever being exposed. Hugh Edwards is 61 years old. He's clearly not... he's probably been doing this for decades. I don't think that he just picked up Grindr recently or whatever the app that he used to do this with. Now, the BBC is obviously trying to get ahead of this and try to play interference in order to try to somehow salvage their already lost reputation. No one cares, BBC. I honestly, if the BBC tomorrow disappeared from the what's it called? From broadcasting, it just disappeared. There was no longer a BBC. Do you know what I would miss? I'd miss the weather app, and that's it. That is it. I'll be like, I have to switch apps now, and then I'd get on with the rest of my life, as if nothing had happened. I literally couldn't care if the BBC had just vanished from the face of the planet. It would make almost zero impact on my life. Occasionally, I get news, articles from a BBC report, only to most of the time show how incredibly partial and incredibly biased they are, and incredibly false or they lie by omission. But I don't actually care what I don't rely on BBC reporting to get my news. The BBC is far from a source of news for me. It's in fact a source of joke most of the time. But yeah, I mean, they've tried to get ahead of this by saying Hugh Edwards is in hospital with serious mental health issues. His wife says, as she named him as the BBC presenter at the centre of allegations. His wife, Vicky Flind, said Flint, anyway, said she was issuing a statement on his behalf after days of speculation, primarily out of concern for his mental health, well-being, and to protect our children. You see, this is how they deal with Hugh Edwards' indiscretions, whether legal or not. I mean, to be honest with you, are we ever really going to know whether this guy was trying to find underage imagery? I think he was probably... Well, we're not going to know, because these bastards operate on a different set of rules than the rest of us. The Sun has... See, it was the Sun that really kicked it off. The Sun has claimed he paid a young person for sexually explicit images. The Met Police says Edwards, 61, will not face any police action. So the young person may have just been 16, 17, perhaps older. But I think that they just simply are not going to dig any deeper to see if the pictures that were sent was by a person younger than... I guess he's not maybe a complete perv. Maybe he hasn't gone after little kids. Speaking of that, I just want to point out my tweet I sent out some time back. Go check it out. Spread the word. I don't want to leave it on here for too long, but yeah, go spread it. Spread the word, people. Spread the word. I don't want to leave it on the tubes for too long because of, things. But go check out my Twitter if you're interested in that particular tweet. Whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, I better. Oh, damn. Yeah, I came across this. This was fantastic. Oh my God. The West is so lost. Dear Lord, the downfall of Western civilization is upon us. We're living in the end times of the Western imperial era. For we are doomed, people. We are absolutely freaking doomed. What are we doing? This is the gamer girls of West versus new pinned whatever. Big up, Sam. Big up the animator. Sorry. I don't see anyone else in the chat at the moment, so we're it's just us, boys and girls. Let me just get this thing up and running. I actually want to just get a panel going. I'll be perfectly honest, I wasn't really going to do this tonight. I kind of immediately regretted the fact that I started a stream. I posted it like a few days back, because when I got to Friday, I was like, oh, screw this. I really can't. But if people jump on, then maybe it'll be worth it. But yeah, guys, Sam, if you're an admin, could you please just cut and paste this a few times throughout the evening? Just the StreamYard link, and also Hafiz Reflex. Yeah, please do that with Hafiz as well. What are you an admin for? What am I paying you for? Work for a living. So yeah, so we got that going. Actually, so let's keep going down my Twitter list. Let's see if there's anything that we can. Isn't this literally Mr. Garrison? Male trans activist fantasizes about getting. Yeah, this was freaky. I don't even know what. I think this is a troll. I personally think this is a troll. But let's see.
The first trans woman to have a successful uterus transplant, ovaries and eggs included. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion. I will let a doctor who has successfully transplanted a uterine complex before cut the organs out of a willing, healthy, transmasculine donor, place them in my body. I will devote myself, heart and soul, to their aftercare. I will have as much gay sex as it takes with as many trans women as it takes, and let the transphobes and homophobes scratch their heads wondering what to make of it. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
Okay, so this biological male would like to have ovaries,
The first trans
female reproductive parts implanted in her by a doctor, which in itself is unfathomably mind-boggling and unnecessary. But nevertheless, she, I guess you gotta use correct pronouns on the old tubes. She would like to have ovaries implanted in her so that she will be capable of carrying being impregnated. Although I can't even imagine the other sort of complications of hips and the body. Because the woman's body during pregnancy goes through incredible transformations. So I can't even begin to imagine how many ways this could be wrong. But yeah, she wants to have them implanted, become pregnant after the months of recovery and surgery and all of that, then have an abortion once she's pregnant. I mean, to say mental health, it's not even. This is one flew over the cuckoo. This is literally we're letting the inmates run the asylum at this point. I'm not even supposed to say this is wrong. Can you believe? I can't actually even publicly say that this is madness. This isn't normal. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hold on. I just want to play this.
This is blasphemy. This is madness.
Oh, hold on.
This is blasphemy. This is madness. Madness. This is
United States of America, UK, Holland. That's what this is. This is not madness. This is the United States. Okay, I'd just like to congratulate the Miss Netherlands competition winner, beauty competition winner. Thank you, Miss Netherlands. You make us all feel inclusive. Moving on. What else? What is this? This is just... Christ, what is all this crap? Oh, yes, Threads. Yes, Threads was released. Yeah, this is Threads, which is Mark Zuckerberg's thing. He's released a Twitter clone, which Twitter is now suing him because some of the old employees of Twitter went to went to Facebook, and then they developed Threads, which is apparently a Twitter clone. I'll be honest, I haven't used it. I'm not going to use it. It's just Twitter with censorship. It's like, do you want to go somewhere to be censored? Yes, please. Yes, take me somewhere where I can't tweet things I want to tweet. So yeah. So that's that. What is this? Oh, wait a minute. This may have been something related. Oh, damn it. This may have been related to something else. Where is it? Oh, this is Israel. What? Israel strikes West Bank.
Good to be here.
It's a shocking bias from the BBC, wholly ignoring the facts on the ground. If you watch one thing today, let it be this interview with former Israeli MP. I can't. anyway, this guy on BBC, the host perfectly exemplifies the outrageous anti-Israeli bias in the media, and Bennett completely shuts her down with class.
Well, we're joined now by the former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett from Jerusalem. Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Good to be here, Anjana.
First of all, the Israeli military are calling this a military operation, but we now know that young people are being killed, 4 of them under 18. Is that really what the military set out to do, to kill people between the ages of 16 and 18?
Quite the contrary. Actually, all 11 people dead there are militants. The fact that there's young terrorists that decide to hold arms is their responsibility. Look, at the end of the day, over the past year or a year ago...
Oh, hold on, sorry guys, I kind of have to pause it from time to time. I mean, this is BBC, I'm probably going to get screwed for this already.
What they're doing, which is explicitly a year-old Palestinian that's shooting at your family, Anjana, what is he?
Under your definition, you are calling them terrorists. The UN are calling them children.
No, I'm actually asking you, what would you call a 17-year-old person with a rifle shooting at your family and murdering your own family? How would you define that person?
We're not talking about that. The UN has defined them as children. The UN has defined them as children, and we know that 4 people between the ages of 16 and 18 have been killed.
You do know that when they sent children to war during the Second World War, some of them were as young as 14. Iran was, in fact, putting 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds and putting guns in their hands and sending them to the front lines of Iran-Iraq war. This is ridiculous. Like, well, what's your point? Your 17-year-old can't shoot you dead? I beg to differ. I honestly beg to differ. I think a 16, 17, a 15-year-old can shoot you to death. A 5-year-old can shoot you. So what's the point of this? What's the point of, harping on about whether they're children or not? Are they killing people? Are they trying to kill you? If they are, then yeah, sorry, they're enemy combatants. They're going to get shot. I mean, I'm still pro Israel, Palestine, but I've said it for years. The Palestinians are not helping themselves. I think I should get off Twitter, because I think Twitter is going to be it's going to have issues. Okay, guys, anyone who wants to jump on, give me a shout. Let me know. At the moment, I'm not seeing anything or anyone, but yeah, if anyone does jump, let me know. Vietnam was 19. Maybe, but either way, I mean, come on. This point of trying to prove that that Palestinian, there's children. Why are you killing children? It's not. They're trying to kill us. I don't care whether they're 5 or 50. They've got a gun. They're trying to shoot. They're gonna have to go down, love. They're going down. So whether they're 5 or 50, they're gonna go down if they're trying to kill us. I think that's the prevailing attitude from the Israelis. Sorry, people. I am trying to find the Streamlabs, the StreamYard sort of section that I have here in order to StreamYard. There we go. Yeah, every time I change my settings, and the graphics go all over the shop, so I have to redo every bloody thing. Bloody thing. Sorry. Bear with me. We're gonna get back to our regularly scheduled program shortly. Just want to get one of these up and running. I was so not prepared for this. I honestly didn't feel like doing this. It's just like wasting my fucking life. But I love you all, and some people have told me in the DMs they wanted to see this tonight. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Really? Really, I have to do this? This is just work at this point. Unpaid work, may I add. All right. So, guys, what are we saying? Do we agree? Are there way too many nonces at the BBC? I think so. I'm on board with that message. I agree with that. Have you guys ever seen Dave Rubin's caricature on Freedom Tunes? He just agrees with every person that he interviews. Has anyone seen that? Let me see if I can find that. This was a wonderful, wonderful video that was done by Freedom Tunes. These guys are fucking brilliant. This was old as well. It's not even new.
Freedom Tunes.
Welcome to the Rubin Report. I'm your host, Dave Rubin. The regressive left has abandoned liberal values. The left is no longer liberal. They're regressive. The road to hell is paved with regressive intentions. Regressive, PC culture, regressive left. Today's non-regressive guest from the non-regressive left, here to talk about the regressive PC leftist culture, is noted non-regressive Sam the Non-Regressive Man Harris. How does it feel to be non-regressive today, Sam?
At the present moment, the most crucial point for us to focus on is...
I agree with that.
You didn't let me finish.
Regressive. I agree with that.
Honestly, Dave, if you believe that you can just agree with your guests on everything they say, you're totally...
I agree with that.
It's like, if you're not embodying the mythos of the archetypal hero by metaphorically dying, you're never gonna kill the snake man, let alone rescue your father from the underworld. Who has a billion of anything? Nobody. It's absurd.
I agree with that.
I hope you're doing well, Dave.
I agree with that.
Okay, so you're agreeing with me, Dave, but you haven't actually given me an explanation for why you agree.
The regressive left.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Dave, how attractive was your single mother? Did she leave you a daycare?
I agree. Anita Sarkeesian spent $17 billion on a 30-second video where she says the word feminism 4 times. After promising her donor she could get the video done in... I agree with that.
Honestly, gang, I knew this was happening. He was agreeing with all of us.
This is clearly not an honest person that we're dealing with. I view him truly as a bad actor.
Well, that depends on what your definition of truth is, Sam.
Oh, not this again.
So, I'm not the only one he agrees with?
Okay, folks, clearly, as I've mentioned, he's been agreeing with all of us on everything when he should only be agreeing with me on everything, okay? If you think we're ever going to be doing your show again after this, you are sorely mistaken, Buster Brown.
My gosh!
Anyway, guys, go to Freedom Tunes if you want to see the rest of this. It's awesome. It's just brilliant. But yeah, every time I keep saying I agree with that, that's what that reminds me of. So I just wanted that insight to be known. So, what else do we do? Oh my God, you guys have seen my my video that I did of Londonistan, right? I think you guys have seen it. I'm sure you guys have seen the Londonistan video. I'm not even sure if I still have it on my playlist. I think YouTube may have killed that. But yeah, that was in the days where I felt I could actually make videos that I liked, to make things that provoked and prodded the narrative. I don't think you can do those videos anymore, unfortunately. The tubes are no longer free. Let me see. Is it still on here? No, I don't have it anymore. Not on this channel. Must be on my other channels. It might actually still be on my Rumble. Oh, by the way, yeah, guys, go to Rumble and check out my channel there. There's a plethora of stuff that I cannot put on here. In fact, just recently I posted something about our little Zobeida friend. Back in the day, I posted that. I posted a whole bunch of other stuff, which unfortunately I cannot put on YouTube's anymore. And also, there is a video of Jordan Peterson, convert Jordan, the Muslim Jordan, about him watching or seeing jinns. That is also available on there. So yeah, go there, check it out. The Rumble, Banksy Style Rumble channel. There is a plethora of stuff which I obviously cannot play on YouTube anymore. So yeah, check that out. There's Jordan seeing jinns. The Jordan versus Jordan M Gin and Tonic. And a whole bunch of other stuff which I can no longer put on the tubes. I'm not really sure how to get you guys to my Banksy Style account. I wonder if it comes up if I type it. Oh yes, it does. Yes, it does. So yeah, go ahead and check that shit out. Yeah, you're not gonna find this stuff on YouTube anymore. It's not doable. Actually, Sam, stick. That's a good Shapiro. I know. Not a fan of Freedom Tubes, to be honest. What's the Rumble channel called? It's Banksy Style, which is the original name that I had before I went to live, because that one got demonetized and just heavily censored by YouTube, so I couldn't really post anything it just wasn't worth posting anything. It's just the growth just came to a standstill. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff on there that you can go to. I probably shouldn't even be on there too long, because even the images alone could be detrimental to our health. Okay, what else are we doing? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm kind of done with this guy. He's a bit of a nonce. The BBC is covered in nuncery, and that's pretty much it. No offense committed. So, he probably wasn't going. I guess it may not be nuncery, but he's just. I mean, how much are we betting that this person that he got photos from is actually a young man? Because I'm putting my money down that this is a man. This is a boy. This is not a girl. These people never come out with, oh, he was soliciting pictures from 16-year-old girls. This is most likely 16-year-old boys. I mean, if the whole Schofield thing is to go by, it's probably 16, 17-year-old boys on some grinder app. But either way, yeah. You see how big they put no offense committed? I wonder, would they ever put something like this for, like, Andrew Tate? Do you think they would ever post a they would ever post a retraction for all the shit they said about Andrew Tate on the BBC? I doubt it. I very much doubt it. Big up, Simon. How's it going, Simon? Simon, jump on. I need someone to bounce conversation from. I honestly am not in any real mood to just do this on my own. I'm spent. I'm done. I find myself in a conversational black hole by myself at the moment. Oh, guys, there is a channel that I do go to quite regularly. If you want to catch me talk, go here and keep an eye on this channel, Chaotic Truth. I actually go there a lot, and I'm on the panel fairly frequently. Although he does run some insanely long, lives, but I do think, I don't know whether he cuts them down. No, it doesn't look like he actually cuts them down on here, but he's got another channel. I think maybe he cuts them on there. But either way, great conversations have taken place on this channel. I can show you my appearance on these. On this channel, to split this country apart, and so yeah, go there if you wish to catch a little bit of Banksy. Although they call me Hafez Reflex or Hafez on that show, they don't know Banksy, they don't know who the fuck Banksy is. But if you guys do want to go and catch a little extra of your boy Banksy chatting crap on the internet, you can do it. You can catch me over there. That's where I go fairly regularly. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Veli Vision himself. Is Veli's channel still live? I don't know. The G Block, as you all know, I am a frequent visitor there. Let's listen into what the G Block is talking about. What's going on in G Block overall?
Condemning PPM.
What's happening, G?
Easy. I just like doing full installations, man.
I think things are winding down.
We need much installs again now, so
everybody's dead. Everybody's tired.
Yeah, as I said, I went into like a sort of specialist area, innit? Like man deals with literally one company's parts and pieces.
I'll tell you what I set up. Well, my brother's doing it actually. You know, douches for the toilets.
Christ, this conversation is more boring than my conversation. Holy shit. What's going on at Veli's? Nothing's going on at Veli's by the looks of it. Nobody's talking. Nobody's having any conversations. Thank you, DEF. Big up CT. Oh, yes. So you do visit CT's channel. Yeah, Chaotic is funny. It's good. It's a good channel. It's got a good mix of Americans doing their thing. Okay. So, where are we? What are we doing? To be honest, the G Block sounds a bit dead. Natty's conversations, he's not talking about Atlantis. When he's not talking about the flat Earth and Atlantis, it's pretty much dead. Is it Natty or is it the other guy? I forgot. Are they all the same people? I mix these people up. There's another guy, isn't there? Schiffer. Schiffer's the nut job, right? He's the one who's talking about flat Earth and Atlantis. I think Natty's more sensible. I'm not sure. I lose track. Yeah, that's what I thought. Reanimator Schiffer is the flat Earth Atlantis believing chap. So, what else are we? What else do I have here? Okay, guys, let me go through my list of shit to cover to see if there is anything else that I saved that I wanted to talk about that I haven't. Yeah, have you guys? Do you guys watch the Minority Report? Did you guys ever see Tim Pool have this woman Emma Vigiland, something like that? This crazy bitch. Listen to the shit she said. Actually, yeah. Let me see if I can. They put up a compilation. I think these guys these guys were the ones who put up like a compilation of this stuff this woman said. And yeah, I'm gonna drop off the G Block for now and see what's what. This was some insane off the chain ranting.
I know that I'm not the only girl who has missed out on opportunities. There are countless.
Okay, let me give you context to this. This is all about the trans people in athletics or in women's sports and how they're just crushing it, and women are just being friggin' swept aside just swatted like flies on the track or on the sporting field. So these guys, they put a compilation of this Emma Vigeland's basically insane rantings.
There's other girls who have lost meets and titles and their drive to compete as hard as they can because they know that they will never be good enough to compete against these athletes.
Honestly, like women's sports, it's barely an institution. It's only been around for a few decades. Like if our sources of our outlets for entertainment, for competition, for like I don't know however to define them. But if they're not able to accommodate trans people, then they're not worthy of existing. Like I'm it's just like we're talking about movie theaters. What are we talking about here? I mean, I love sports as much as anyone, but if they cannot accommodate including trans people, I don't give a shit about them being robust. It's just, be inclusive or don't be.
So you see, this is a woman who clearly never competed in anything, hasn't really put herself in any sporting or has ever really done sports on any sort of high level or any serious level where she had to sacrifice her nights out with the girls or her, out time with her family, has to get up at 5 a.m., go to the track, go to the swimming pool, go to wherever to practice, to build home her skills. She's never done any of that. She's never sacrificed for sport. That's why she can so flippantly say women's sports have only been around a few decades and they don't even need to exist if they're not trans exclusive. Because she hasn't sacrificed. She hasn't given up her life to devote to a particular sport. So why does she care that someone comes in with all the male equipment, effectively male body, to crush the competition? This is what Jordan Peterson said when he was interviewing this swimmer who swam against Leah Thomas, and he said, "Look, the idea is that we give you a fair landscape, a fair playing field in which you can compete and have a fair chance of winning." And then we say, and you accept those terms, you take part, you sacrifice, you accept the sacrifice based on the terms that this is a fair playing field, that you have a chance, given enough dedication, given enough, of course some genetics plays a part in it, but generally, if you give up and sacrifice, you have a chance to make it at the higher echelons of this particular given field. Now, this is the same as saying, like, you got like a bunch of 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds competing in a sport. And then a 25-year-old man is allowed to compete with the 8-year-olds in basketball. It's like, what the hell? This doesn't make sense. This is, I mean, the one at one end, it's ridiculous that someone with vastly superior abilities is just allowed to just step in and take part. The other part is that what satisfaction do these trans participants get from winning by beating people that they know they could crush anyway? Is there even, I mean, what happened to the code of honor? Is it just about winning? Is it just about the medals and getting the trophy? Is that it? Is that all it is? That I have to get this little trophy and I have to just crush these women to get it because I can't compete with the men. I can't compete on an actual even playing field. So I have to come into I have to basically, I mean, why don't they just let 20-year-old men race against 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds in Little League and primary school sports days? It's like watching, those fathers and son races where the father is overly competitive and is just crushing the kids. It's actually, oh my God, it's actually this. This is the image that I see when I hear trans men wanting to crush women.
Just wasn't the right time
in sports. This is it. This epitophizes exactly what. Hold on. Let me show you. This is it. This is it, basically. Look at this. Where is it? Where he completely plants this poor little child.
Go.
He just smashes this poor kid down.
Last attack.
He just crushes this child to try to get past him. Like, dude,
Last attack.
take it easy. Oh, the kid is like, holy shit, what just happened? This is trans sports. This is how I see the equality in trans sports. Oh, big up, Simon. Hold on. Hello, Simon. How's it going,
Hello,
mate?
mate. All right. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm
Yeah.
I'm just trying to muster up some encouragement to run the show.
Yeah,
I cannot
I'm not
care
really in the mood
less.
for it, I've got to say. But you asked really nicely, so I came. I'm absolutely knackered.
I know. I'm just done. The week is done. I'm done, and I could not care less. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I even doing this?
It's kind of a sign of sanity wanting to talk to somebody else, though. You know, these people that can just talk for like 18 hours to their own laptop. And it's like, it does get boring. I can't monologue either.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you're right. You got your music. You play some music. You just having to be broadcasting it, whatever. Who cares if anyone's listening or not? I'm just going to do it anyway. So you've got something that you're doing. This, for me, is like, I have a very strict mentality towards this. This is a show. I have to put up green screens. I have to dress up.
Show.
I have to,
well, I mean,
do this. This is a thing. It's not like I'm just turning on a computer and just faffing about and then I happen to just broadcast it live. This is like a whole process for me. And that's why I just can't be asked. So since your presence on this show is going to cause a shitload of fucking backlash for me, let's make it juicy. Let's make it worthwhile.
Who from?
Sorry?
Who from?
Oh, come on. You know
How
the
much
usual
juice would you
players.
like?
You know the usual players. I'm never going to...
And...
Sorry?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You know how it is. I'm gonna get some shit for this. It's never gonna go untouched or unnoted. But what I want to know is there any drama that I personally don't really care about, but maybe the audience does, in the little circle of people that we know? Because I know that you were doing something about someone, but is there a thing about Chrissy Morris suing or calling the police on Jupiter? Is that a thing?
Well, no, I think yes, actually. I think he... Oh, what happened? He called to check if his name had been... Jupiter was doing a thing. Oh, I've already lowered the quality of entertainment and information just by talking about her. But I think he phoned the police to check that if they wanted to speak to him because she'd mentioned his name in a stream. But at the same time, I do think he phoned the police to say there's child porn been dropped in a Discord. So, both, I think. Yeah. I've unsubscribed from most of the people that annoy me.
Are you? So you're not even in that pool anymore. So you don't even keep an eye on what's going on over there. I thought maybe you knew more than me because I even know less.
I'm watching it through the clip channels. Like I saw Taffy today going, we should all unsubscribe from Jupiter. It's like I did weeks ago. It's just filtering through you people.
I see. Because I am still subscribed to her. I just don't listen to the stuff
move away from something and then
no, I mean I'm still subscribed to Jupiter's channel. It's just the minute if she's running a stream and then I turn it on and she's bitching about someone, I immediately just turn it off. It's usually on my phone, so I just immediately just swipe it and close the YouTube app. Because it's like, oh, she's just bitching about someone. Okay, fine. But if she happens to be talking about someone,
swipe left.
Yeah, I
Have you seen the ice cream video though?
Ice cream? No.
The ice cream. Okay.
You see, this is what I mean. You're still in the loop. I'm not in the loop. I'm not in the loop at all. I couldn't care less. I just couldn't care less. So that's why I'm not at all in the loop.
I'm trying to move into this space. Yeah.
Yeah, of not caring whatsoever. Sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not like ice cream. What happened with the ice cream video? Let us in on the scoop.
Well, it's just like I don't know. It's an auntie acting indecently with a Mr. Whippy, and
Are you trying to like? Were you thinking about a sort of politically correct way of telling us that she was, being sexual with a Mr. Whippy?
Yes. Have you not seen it? You will after.
You see, this is what I mean. This is literally what I mean. I had no idea that she'd done some kind of lewd act with an ice cream, with a cornetto. She had molested a cornetto at some point. Is this a Hugh Edwards indiscretion moment with a cornetto? I have no idea.
Someone sent me a photo of that bloke with the uncensored one with his bum out when it came out, and I was like, I don't even know who that is. Who is that? I've got no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I know who he is. He's an anchor for the BBC. He does like the straight news, but that's the thing. He does just, as far as I knew, he does like straight news reporting. He's just like Trevor McDonald and those types of guys. I didn't know whether he does, because usually the drama is around people who do opinion pieces and opinion panel shows, and you know what I mean, those types of people, not the ones who just sit and go, tonight this happened, that happened, now for the weather. Those guys, Trevor McDonald, my entire life, this man has never done anything wrong or anything like untoward. He's just been a great news anchor. Even Jon Snow, apart from his little digs at white people from time to time, his like street reporting because Channel 4 went woke. But before that, he was just a great reporter. I never saw any issues with Jon Snow. I never thought he was, bad. I just thought he was a straight reporter. Now, in years to come, I realized these guys were not feeding us the truth. They were feeding us narratives, but they looked like they were just straight up news reporters. They were just, reading out the news of the day. That's all I ever saw these people.
Everybody feeds narratives. My thing, this whole thing about alternative media. When alternative media spin narratives and tell lies, I get really offended. I can't, everyone from fucking Simon to Welshie to, the British Broadcast Bullshit Company,
the Clinton News Network.
Oh, when the alternative people start, when the YouTubers start lying and pushing narratives, it grinds my gears.
But the thing is, I don't expect anything from any of them. I expect all of them to have their own agendas. But what I do is I try to then be subscribed to a sort of a cross base of different YouTubers, a multitude of different opinions from the left and from the right. Like, for example, I listen to, maybe a bit too much, but I listen to a guy called Destiny, who is a YouTuber who used to be a Twitch guy who is very much on the left, but his opinions have been somewhat based on a few things, and that's why he ended up getting banned from Twitch. Twitch kicked him off because he started giving some somewhat conservative opinions about certain issues. Not everything, because he's still very much on the left with a lot of things. But I started listening to him. I started looking at him because he's actually willing to cross the the political line and come over to conservative channels and debate them. And a lot of times he crushes them. A lot of times he actually exposes them for their biases, for their narrow visions, and some of the things that they're maybe lying by omission. See, that's the other part that I realized, the biggest thing. And I'll be honest, the person who tuned me up to this was Atheism is Unstoppable. Devin Tracy.
Yeah.
He opened up my eyes to how, because I used to be a Young Turks guy. I used to like Young Turks. I used to be a Young Turks man. I was all behind Young Turks. Fuck George W. Bush, the Iraq War, all of that. Hell, I even voted Liberal Democrat at the time of the Iraq and Iraq War in the early 2000s. Yeah, I know.
Tony Blair.
I know, during the Blair era, I actually voted for Liberal Democrats because I wanted a vote against the war. That's what I voted on. It was and they were the only party that were against the Iraq invasion. And I knew the whole Iraq invasion, me, all my friends, all the Iranians that I knew, we all agreed this is a farce. This is a sham. This is disgraceful. They're trying to convince people Iraq can, attack any European city in 45. All that was nonsense, weapons of mass destruction. We all knew these were lies, 100%. There was no doubt in my mind. This was all lies from day one. No, I was never one of those to be shocked. Oh, they never found weapons of mass destruction. Oh, of course they never found weapons of mass destruction. Sorry, go on.
I've spoken to people that served in that war and I've spoken to people that served in that war and kind of just had no idea until they came back home. You don't get a lot of news.
Exactly.
And there was a big war, Matt, a big war march, and but they welcomed us in, and I've spoken to a couple of vets who felt absolutely used through that.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, don't get me wrong. I agree that Saddam Hussein was an awful, awful person. There's no, you're not going to be like as if we didn't know. I'm an Iranian, for crying out loud. Of course I knew what Saddam Hussein was all about. But I also know who put Saddam Hussein there. I know, I've got the video footage of Donald Rumsfeld in Iraq during the Iran-Iraq war, shaking hands with Saddam, selling him arms.
Yeah.
So I know who was behind him,
the Queen
who supported him.
Fucking Lizzie probably had fucking stocks and shares in the company.
Yes, of course the British government was right there. The fact that I saw, this was in the 90s. Dude, this was in the 90s. I saw in the center pages of, I think it was either the Mirror or the Sun. It was one of the papers my friend read. And our current king, King Charles, was sitting with a beret and full military camo gear with Muammar Gaddafi under some, canopies, drinking and talking and chilling.
Camp somewhere.
Yeah, they were out in the desert and they had like tents up and stuff, and they were sitting just chilling and just having a whale of a time. And then suddenly, what was it, like 10 years ago? Gaddafi became world enemy number one, and we have to take him out. It's like fucking Charles was chilling with him like 10 years ago. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is the thing. And the weird thing is, I can't find any of those images on the internet. I've been searching. I searched for days sometimes trying to find those images of Charles with Gaddafi, and there's none. There is none. And I know I saw them. I'm not being gaslighted into this shit. I saw those newspaper clips. I saw them with my own two eyes. Charles in his camo gear and his beret hanging out. Basically was wearing military gear, hanging out with Gaddafi. I've seen those with my own two eyes. I know others who have. So you can't convince me that they don't exist. Those pictures exist. They're just not online anywhere. I can't seem to Google them for the love of God. I've even tried DuckDuckGo and other sort of search engines. They're just gone. Either they never made it to the net, because this was obviously pre sort of. The internet was around in the 90s. It's just, we're talking dial-up modems. So we're not talking the level of internet that we use now and the kind of media that's available now. So I don't know. I just can't find them. I haven't been able to find them anywhere. But I know
Vista was the first one that I used.
Yeah, exactly. Netscape, Alta Vista, Yahoo. Yahoo was one of the first. I've got an email account that I created in 1992. I still have it to this day. I still use it, a Yahoo account. My first email account. So yeah, no, they're available. Sorry, dude, I missed what you said.
Mine's probably advertising Viagra. So my Yahoo and Hotmail are probably advertising
Yeah.
Erectile dysfunction cures.
Do you suffer from anal leaking? Just take 2 of these, but please consult your doctor before taking any medication. So yeah, that's probably the case. But the thing is, I still have that email. I still use it. I still check it from time to time. I still have that account as a valid account. But my Hotmail account, no, I can't even remember anything about that anymore. That just went to the ways. Hotmail, I wasn't really a big Hotmail user anyway. I only signed up for that account for MSN, Microsoft Messenger. Yeah, I used to use that a fair bit, and Yahoo Messenger, and Yahoo chat rooms. That's where I was for years in the early
those message
2000s.
boards. I used to before Virgin bought all the cables up in London. We were on Blue Yonder.
Blue Yonder, yes, NTL and Blue Yonder. Those were the two companies.
And do you remember those the message boards that were / alt music, alt electronic, whatever?
BBMs.
And you could download it as binary.
Bulletin boards. Are you talking about the bulletin boards?
It was before Napster and kind of all those.
Yeah, I mean, they were basically you could use. I think I could actually use Microsoft DOS to access them. So they were not web based. They were not browser based. Some of the bulletin boards I used were literally from MS DOS.
You weren't downloading an MP3, but you could. But you could download music of them. That's what I used to do.
Well, no, the ones I when it came to music, it was Napster, and it was peer-to-peer stuff.
Because but this was, it was before all the peer-to-peer stuff appeared, and this is why my memory is hazy about it. Yeah.
Bloody hell. No, I never downloaded anything from a bulletin board other than drivers from the Toshiba. I remember downloading from the Toshiba bulletin board side. I downloaded some drivers for a Toshiba computer that my uncle bought, and we needed to configure some of his sound cards and stuff, and we got the drivers from their website, from their bulletin board, because they for some reason we didn't get the drivers discs and stuff at the time. So that was it. That was the last time I remember. This was mid-90s. Setting up a 486. Again, 486. 486 was a DX66, I think. They had the different 66 megahertz processors. 1 gig of RAM.
How many?
1 meg of RAM, 1 meg of graphics card. That was my first computer. 100 megabytes of storage hard drive. That was like that was £1,000 at that time.
My first computer was a ZX Spectrum.
Yeah, I know. I did have, and this was my first PC. I did have an Amiga 64. Before that, and I had an Amiga 500. So yeah, no, I had an Amiga, but that was games. I never really did anything with that. It was just purely I was using just games for that. The only thing I did was I used a desktop publishing app to produce one page. It took, I think, about 7 hours to produce one page of a desktop publishing page on my Amiga, because I had to swap discs. I had like 7 or 8 different discs, and for every time I wanted to use a different font, I had to swap discs like 4 or 5 times, floppy disks, in order to get this. And then sometimes it would crash halfway in the middle. Several times it crashed in the middle of me doing it, and I lost everything and I had to start again. That's why it took about 7 hours, because the frigging thing actually...
How big were those?
Oh,
I can't remember now.
What, the floppy disks?
3.5?
1.44 megabytes per disk. And I had no hard drive. So the Amiga 500 they had no hard drive. So it just had the floppy disk. I had 2 floppy disk drives, and every time I had to load a new font or do something that required loading, it kept asking me, put this 3 in, put this 2, and then this 3, and then this 7. And then I would keep swapping disks until it loaded into memory the stuff, the things that I needed. I'm not joking. Just changing fonts. The people of this generation and modern era of computing have no
but
idea.
they have got no idea.
Oh my god, they have no fucking clue how fucked up things were back in the day. There you go, Royal Gamer talking about Windows 3.1. Windows 3.1 was a dream in comparison. You know, when I had Windows 3.1, I had a hard drive that I could hold stuff on. You should try using a computer that doesn't have a hard drive. I don't think people would even be able to comprehend what it's like to use a computer without a hard drive now. It's insane. It's utterly insane.
Have you played with the Chat GPT thing much?
Yes, yeah. I've tried to mess about with it, but I haven't. All I've done is movie reviews so far, and it's been kind of lame with those. I'll be honest, the movie reviews are a bit shite. But I started a movie review channel, and I've been uploading Chat GPT movie reviews on there. But I've heard that like one of my friends, he gets it to write its CVs for it and cover letters and stuff like that. Believe it or not, it's crazy. He's managed to get the Chat GPT to because he was looking for a job. So Chat GPT wrote his CV for him, and cover letters and other things like that. So he's had it do that sort of stuff. Other people have done other things. I have had it. I've wrote some stuff like how give me PHP code for certain things or JavaScript for some other things that I was working on. So yeah, I've had those sort of bits, but nothing much. What have you been doing?
Once you get a formula and it understands the formula, I've been knocking out like T-shirt designs on Midjourney.
How does it do T-shirt? As in, is it one of those image AI things that you're using?
If you feed the output from ChatGPT into Midjourney,
oh, I see.
Koala
So
bear
you
in
go
a
to
lime tree, surrounded by sacred geometry, surrounded on a white background, but it can write.
Go on.
Like the image prompts way faster.
Oh, I see. So you tell ChatGPT to do me write me a script for a T-shirt design for X, with including X, Y, and Z parameters, and then you feed that into one of these image creators, and then it generates the image.
If you put square anything, it's like coding for idiots, basically, which is great.
I know.
But anything you put square brackets around is a variable, and so if you give it, what you put into it is what you get out of it, is what I've noticed. So if you give it, you give it the formula. I want an adjective animal with a sacred geometry, whatever, modern dripping art design, and it'll pump out like 50 possible permutations of it, which you can just copy and paste into Midjourney, upscale them. There's now going to be totally saturated with people just knocking out AI designs onto T-shirts, mugs.
Yeah, I can imagine. The thing is, though, I never found a free one of these image sites. They were always like charging you for something. Is there a free one?
No, you can download Stable Diffusion. It's a bit faffy. It's probably easier to put on a PC than a Mac. But Stable Diffusion is really good.
Stable Diffusion.
And it's only.
Let me look at this.
Yeah, the A triple one. It might be 4 ones. A quadruple one. It's got a web interface, but on Mac, so.
Okay,
online,
Stable Diffusion online.
In terminal.
But you can actually download it locally as well. Stability AI.
You can download it locally. Yeah.
Stable Diffusion 2.0 release.
I mean, what I do on a Mac, It's the web interface one. Four ones.
But it's stable diffusion free then.
Yes. Yeah, it's open source.
Oh, nice. Good man. The Stable Diffusion Playground.
Well.
Just enter your prompt and click to generate the node code.
The playground's a bit more advanced. Yeah.
All right, but it's actually busy right now. They're not able to. I can't get on it yet. And then there's the prompt
there's
database.
a couple of websites on it. There's Run Diffusion, which runs on it, and they kind of, it's like 50 cents an hour or something. But like on mine, I just have to I had to update a whole load of Python stuff, which I didn't really understand, but I did. And you get it running in terminal, and it gives you an IP address, and then you just open any browser window and put the IP address into that browser window, and then you've got faders to use, and it's not quite so. It's not like a Google Colab.
Interesting. Let me actually show this to the boys and girls in the chit chats. Maybe they might be interested. I mean, I'm looking at Stable Diffusion, stability.ai. That's what I'm actually looking at. Is that the one that you actually download?
That's the company. Yeah, it's probably easier. Even just on YouTube, you can just go how to install Stable Diffusion locally.
Yeah, I'm with you. And let me just see if I can get this to be displayed for the guys. And these are are these the imageries that it's created? I guess it must be. This is very lifelike image. These look like photos. Does it actually create photorealistic images?
Realistic.
Holy moly. That is amazing. These are photorealistic images.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Super resolution, unclear diffusion model as well. Oh yeah, so it clears blurred images as well. Holy moly. That's amazing.
It's about the only thing that's interested me for weeks, I think.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get in on this, especially the image stuff. And it's wow. Yeah, this AI thing, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna kill it. It's gonna kill so many industries, especially IT sort of.
It's already killed a few.
Which ones?
Food photographers.
Yeah, that's true.
Stock image.
Yes.
I want a picture of a man at a computer from behind.
Oh my God! Yes, stock imagery. Do they do videos as well? Can they do videos? Motion.
Yeah. Yes. The best one is Runway 2.
Runway 2 is the company or the site.
Yeah. Oh, I can't. Oh God, what's that? Oh, there's a really good channel actually. Look, what's it called? I can't look because I'm on the phone. It's really. Oh, do you remember when the Deep Blue started knocking out those really shitty images of dogs and cats everywhere?
Oh, that was years ago.
It's kind of that.
I see. Yeah, I can see. I can see this this one. I mean, it's good with the clouds moving or certain background sort of motion. But no, I mean, still, it's pretty decent.
Consider it can. Oh, how long? It does a few seconds at a time. Oh.
No, it's still pretty good.
Sorry, I'm limited to my phone. It's annoying.
Because I know you were all over Reface and things like that. You were really into sort of imagery, sort of manipulation. You know, I actually uploaded your snake video that you did, or at least someone did. I don't know, but you uploaded it onto your channel, the Ralph and Zobeda snake video. You know, the music.
Oh, yeah.
I re-uploaded that because I couldn't find it on your channel anymore because I think you may have taken it off onto my Rumble channel now.
Good.
Because I wanted to preserve it, you know. I wanted it to be there for future preservation. And I was like, okay, I don't think he's going to have it on YouTube. But I was lucky enough that I downloaded it at the time that you had it up, because I knew that this is going to be funny at some point. I can use this, but then I realized you didn't have it on your channel anymore. I was like, oh man, this cannot be left from the internet. It must remain on the internet somehow.
It's always that. I had 2 strikes, so I just made everything private.
And that's what happened with me on my main Banksy channel. I was getting strikes left, right, and center, so I had to just private a shitload of videos because it just kept striking. Just every few weeks or few months, boom, another strike. Like
once you got 2, just don't use the channel again.
That's it. That's when I stopped. I stopped using it. But no, it wasn't. I wasn't getting strikes on new videos. I was getting strikes on old videos. Videos I'd uploaded.
That's the thing. That
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
And I was getting screwed retroactively. So I just started privating all the videos, anything that I thought would potentially be a strikeable video, and just left it because I don't use Banksy style anymore because they killed it for me effectively. Anything that was fun, anything that was interesting, they just killed it. So that's it. That's the problem with. This is why I'm a bit more excited that Rumble has finally kind of gained some ground and become popular, because I can start doing the stuff I used to do on YouTube on Rumble again, and take the piss out of a certain religion of peace, various other things. Problem is, no one, to try to get people to actually go to Rumble is a work, it's a major effort to itself, because most people just can't be asked.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I can't be asked.
Yeah, I know. Most people can't. Most people just are so entrenched into their habits. This is why, like this whole thing with Zuckerberg and his Threads thing, his Twitter clone. I don't see it going anywhere, because people are creatures of habit, and they're not going anywhere from Twitter. They're just not going to leave Twitter. A ton of people are not going to go from Twitter, where they can actually say what they want to say, versus a censored environment. It's like, would you like to be censored? Would you like your tweets to be deleted and for you to getting strikes? Come over to us. What? What the fuck? What are you offering? You're literally offering me censorious dictatorial fucking thing, and you want me to volunteer for that? Usually, at least dictators have the goddamn common decency to sneak up on you, and you suddenly find yourself in the middle of a dictatorial fucking society. Not fucking advertise it and you volunteer for it. So yes.
I've been watching a lot of Lex Friedman. Have you?
Yeah, I've seen his stuff. I haven't seen his recent Elon Musk interview, but I saw his Zuckerberg interview and a few other interviews. Yeah, it's all right. He's okay. He's good. Again, I'm not a massive fan, because I find him to occasionally not go deep on issues. He tries to stay centered a lot, but yeah, no, he's still worth having on your feed effectively, so that you're not you're not creating an echo chamber for yourself.
Yeah,
because that's what people do. People just tend to want to have, they've got confirmation bias. They want to listen to someone who confirms the things that they're already thinking. Well, if you're constantly doing that, you're never going to explore new information, new ideas. And ironically, it's supposedly the conservative right that is constantly complaining about the left not wanting to be wanting to be in an echo chamber and constantly canceling and censoring people. Well, if you yourself are not exposing yourself to people. I've even got a link from Hassan Abi, who's talking about Anna Kasparian, because Anna Kasparian is becoming based, and I think she's going the way of Dave Rubin fast. and I think she's gonna Dave Rubin herself in a year or two, because she's getting older. She's got a few quid under her belt, and usually when you're rich and you're getting older, you become conservative because you pay taxes.
Yes. Because you paid a lot of money.
Mm. And I think the turning point for her was when she got assaulted on the streets of California. I don't know if you heard that story. Did you hear that story when she got assaulted?
Nope.
Okay, she went outside walking her dog in her probably what she considers to be a nice, safe, upper middle class sort of neighborhood, and there was a couple of homeless guys walking towards her. Now she kind of generally didn't pay too much attention because they tend to just walk by, and they were like probably drugged up or whatever, so they weren't exactly in their right mind. But she bent over to pick up her dog's poo, and the guy just grabbed her from behind and just started thrusting her with a full erection. Now they kind of, I think apparently they just sort of did a couple of like thrusting motions towards her and kind of laughed it off and walked away laughing because it was like a joke to them. She was traumatized.
That's a sexual assault.
Of course it is.
That's a sexual assault.
That's straight up sexual assault. There is no doubt that it's straight up sexual assault. But she called the police, or she called her husband, because it was literally down from her, I guess, flat or whatever they live in. So it was round the corner from where she lived. It wasn't like far. But that's happening all over Los Angeles now. Los Angeles is basically just a shithole. So they called the police, but these guys were already gone. And nothing came of it, effectively. And nothing would come off it anyway. And the other thing is, in Los Angeles, you could walk into, I don't know, your Walmart or whatever, and suddenly a bunch of people run in and just ransack the place and just steal a bunch of stuff. Because if you steal under, I think, a certain amount, $1,000, the police don't even come out anymore. So it's, I mean,
there's bits of America that have you seen that street?
Sorry, you're breaking up. What? Say it again.
Channel.
Sorry, you completely broke up on me.
And they're basically.
Sorry, repeat again.
Walking around the streets of Philadelphia channel. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen the Streets of Philadelphia channel though, but I know Philadelphia is just covered in feces.
There's people just standing there banging up crystal meth in the street, and well, it's a mixture of crystal meth and spice. It's just like they're just doing it in big groups in the street. And there's a woman that drives through. It's like a zombie apocalypse, but it's real.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's just that. Okay, sorry, I'm just increasing your volume a little bit there, Simon. Hopefully, things will come through a little bit better now. But there's, on the Chaotic Truths channel, I was on there yesterday, the day before. There is an app for I think San Francisco, which tells you where the most amount of feces on the floor is, to avoid certain streets because it's just covered in feces. Human defecation. There's an app. There's an app for that. That's what's happening in America. Oh my god. It's utterly insane. Sorry, are you still with me? Hello? Did I just fuck up his mic? I can't hear her anymore. Shit. What did I do to Simon's mic? I increased the volume. Simon? No, he lost connection. Awesome. As soon as I fixed his volume, he lost the connection. So that's great. Yeah, guys, what time is it? 11:40. Shit, I've already gone way past an hour mark. To be honest with you, this might be a hint, just to get out of here. Okay, I'd like to see youngsters do their courseworks on Windows 3.1. They have no idea of the struggles. Yes, the struggles is real. Banksy, did they touch her butt? Yes, they grabbed her. They grabbed her from behind, and the guy thrust it into her. And apparently he had an erection. like hand to skin. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it was like actually skin, but you know, it's kind of like the jokey kind of way of grabbing a girl by her thighs and just, you know, dry humping. Effectively, I would imagine it was like a dry humping. That they kind of did couple of thrusts and then walked away laughing. Now, she was completely traumatized by this, which is fair enough. I mean, it is actually assault. That is actual sexual assault. It would be considered certainly assault for sure. But, Simon's back. Hello, sir. You lost the eye connection? Hello? Hello? Hello, Mr. Simon? Can you hear me? Damn it. Is he muted? Is he not muted? What's going on? Simon? Hello? I can't see anything here. I don't see any reason why you should be muted. Why are you muted? I think maybe it's a connection thing. I don't know. I cannot hear Mr. Simon. But yeah, guys, this is the kind of new AI stuff that's going down. Go check it out. This one is apparently called, what is it called? Runaway Research Gen 2. The next step forward for generative AI. A multi-mode AI system that can generate novel videos with text, images, or video clips. So you can type what you want it to do. You can have a video that it will AI the shit out of. And it will do these things, but sign into Runaway. Yeah, I think I gotta probably sign. I'm gonna have to look into this for some AI generated imagery. No lights, no camera, all action. Nice. Sorry, Simon. I can't hear you, mate. I don't know what happened. Shit went sideways, but don't worry. Leave it. We'll do it next time because I'm gonna drop off this bad boy now anyway. I think I've already exceeded my allotted. Yeah, oh Christ, I'm an hour and 37 minutes in. I really only want to do an hour. All right, guys. Youths considered too dangerous. I'm dancing Israeli look. Oh, hello, Mr. Mossad. How are you, sir? Do you wish to converse in any way on the old chats, or shall I just call this quits? Because I don't really have anything else. I just wanted to cover the Hugh Edwards debacle, the BBC effectively for some reason attracting a great deal of noncery, and that is all. That is all. I don't have much else on my plate here. I've definitely got to check out these sites because they look awesome. Let me go through my Rumble. Oh, this was actually, I think, Cenk's nephew addresses the Anna Kasparian situation with Frank Left. This is it. This is
of like hyper focus. I think what Anna is saying in all of these clips that are popping on Twitter, it's all in the same vein of like hyper focusing on like random gripes and turning it into like major points of contention, which is what right wingers do usually. You know what I mean? And they do it very successfully. I think what Anna is saying in all of these clips.
Okay, it's just repeating the segment now. But yeah, I think what's it called? Hassan is just going to throw Anna Kasparian right under the bus anyway. He doesn't give a damn. Simon? Hello, Mr. Simon.
I only went to the fridge.
Yeah, it sounds good now. It sounds groovy now. You're actually nice and louder as well.
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
That's why the connection thing is struggling. The struggle is real. But yeah, I was talking about the whole Anna Kasparian thing because I think she's going to go conservative. She's going to pull a Dave Rubin. I can see it. I can smell it. It's in the air. She's once you start going down the sort of right or conservative centrist road. I mean, you first become a centrist, and then you become
That's kind of why I enjoyed that Tim Minchin sketch, the confirmation bias thing, because he's like, I'm a progressive anti-Tory, and then he's lying on the piano going, but you're all fucked up. And he's talking about the left.
Yep. I mean, this is the thing. People like Minchin. People like Dawkins. Dawkins was getting cancelled because of some of the things he's saying about, especially about biology and the whole trans thing.
Well, did you watch that? Did I post it, or did you?
Which one?
The Richard Dawkins interview with Tim Minchin.
I didn't see the. Was it the one where he gives him an award at the beginning? Because you were playing something like that. Yeah, he gave him an award.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the rest of it. I started watching the beginning where Dawkins gave an award, and then another guy came up and he was talking about Minchin, and then I kind of stopped because I had to go and do something else, and I've never gone back to it to finish that off. But I saw. Did you see Dawkins and his interview with Trigonometry?
No.
All right. That's pretty much the same sort of thing. They cover very similar grounds. That's why I kind of thought, okay, I can come back to the Tim Minchin thing because I've already seen Dawkins and his opinions on trans and all of this stuff and women, men can be women kind of stuff. Of course, he's a biologist. He's like, no, you can't. What are you, insane? This is the thing.
I used to think he was a really miserable little cunt. But the way he's really into poetry, I know it sounds bad, but there's something about him, the way that he's actually kind of, I used to think, oh, you just hate anything that you think might be kind of spiritual, which I know is a phrase that annoys people. And I've noticed that he doesn't. He's actually really into kind of beautiful words. He's really into poetry. He's really into art. I used to think he was a proper little,
Yeah, the thing is that unfortunately, because of the subject matters, which is mostly what he's been interviewed on, which is religion, then he comes across as quite miserable because he's quite miserable when it comes to religion. He's not a fan, and he doesn't. He's not in his best happy mood. He's not in his happy place when he talks about religion. So unfortunately, when you see a lot of Dawkins, you see him in that mode of just crapping on religion all the time. So he doesn't come across in his best light. But of course, there's much more to people than that. I mean, it's the same with me, actually. Ironically, when all the Speaker's Corner people and the Muslims saw me, was just me crapping on their religion. So of course, they immediately hate me because that's all they ever see about me. And then when I talk about other matters, I mean, in fact, ironically, in modern times, especially when it comes to matters of children, when it comes to matters of trans people, I'm on the Muslim side. We actually are in line with a lot of that stuff. Of course, I don't agree with them chucking them over the, homosexuals off buildings and nonsense like that. But what I mean is like keeping children safe from these ideologies. Yes. I'm perfectly fine. No, don't mutilate 14-year-olds. Don't put them on puberty blockers. These children don't know what the hell they want in life. They barely know. Some of them want to be fire engines, for crying out loud.
Somebody put a video. Who was it? It might have been Shell, actually. I think. A lot of it, I think, is hysterical people overreacting. But. What I heard earlier on was a man writing to an MP saying, "This is what my daughter has just been sent home with, and it's a form and a questionnaire telling her to go and have a discussion with Daddy about his erections and his bodily fluids and his
Holy shit.
ejaculations. And I was like, and she was 10. And I was
Damn.
like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I was like 13 or 14 before anyone played me a cheap VHS cassette.
Sex ed.
In sex ed. Yeah, and I was at least 13 or 14, and even then, it was like a 1970s quality sideways animation which everyone sniggered for you, but no one mentioned bodily fluids, and no one gave anyone told them to go home and ask their dad about it.
Then
that's just weird. And I saw that today and did think that's very weird.
Well, this is what I mean. This is unfortunately. The thing is, you see, it all depends on parents. Some parents are much more open with their children than other parents. My mum was,
but that should be their choice.
Exactly,
it's their choice.
Exactly. It was up to the parent to decide when they themselves, as a parent, and the child is ready to have these conversations. So there was a kind of an unspoken rule. Maybe the child had already. I mean, I think I saw some grainy porn at some mate's house way before my dad and my mum or my parents ever really had a conversation with me about sex. But also, I'm going to be honest with you, my mum's old school. She's from a different era, from a different country, and she was scared to death I'm going to turn out gay. I'm not going to joke with you. She was like, I don't want my boys to turn out gay. This country is full of gay people, so I'm going to show them a shitload of titty shots in the Sun, in the News of the World, whatever, in order to make sure that they're attracted to women. And it's like, I don't think you know how this works, but I'm not sure. And now in like retrospect, I'm like, I don't think my mum knew how the whole sexuality thing works. It's not like you can show them just expose them. This is not Clockwork Orange where you expose them to a bunch of tits and then they just become heterosexual. that's not, you're not going to be able to talk them into heterosexuality in the same way as no one's ever going to talk me into sucking a dick. I'm sorry. No one on this planet is going to talk me into sucking penis. It's just never going to happen. This is why when people are like, oh, homosexuality is a choice. I'm like, if it's a choice, then you can choose to suck dick, right? This is to anyone who's ever been bigoted or ever.
I got told off for saying that I think it is a choice, and I got really told off.
But I don't think it's a choice to. I couldn't. You can't. I'm never going to choose to suck cock. It's a choice that is not on the menu for me. It's not even on the fucking menu. I would burn that menu to the fucking ground if it ever came up. There is no menu that will ever say you can choose vagina or you can choose a cock.
But I can choose vagina.
No, you can. Maybe you can. It's not a choice for me. It's not a choice. There is no fucking scenario where that's a choice for me. That's like a choice that I would choose. So that's why I'm like, I don't think homosexual men, it's like they are just simply choosing, or someone talked them into this thing. It's just what they are into. I'm pretty sure this is more nature than nurture. Although I can imagine some degree of societal, maybe peer groups or whatever might pressure you into experimentation. But ultimately, you will go the route that you want to go. You will fall in line with whatever it is your natural instincts are. And that's it. And that's all I care about. I'm like I say, I'm not into, again, as I say, going back to the child thing. If a child is into it, then they're into it. But what I'm worried about is, like, I don't see emos anymore. I see Zers and Q and LGBTQ members, or actually mostly Q members. What happened to the odd kids? What happened to the outsiders and the kids who didn't fit in? And some kids who were feminine boys or masculine girls who were either tomboys that grew out of it or became lesbians. Like, that option isn't available anymore.
They're transing out the gays, and it's more homophobic than
straight people snarling at gay people. This is actually you're literally telling gay boys or gay girls that they have to be trans now.
You need an operation.
We have to mutilate you because you like boys, or you like. No, how about if they're just gay? What happened to that option? When did that option stop being a thing? So this is what I mean. I think this whole thing has become a bit of a craze.
Do you not think there's a lot of attention on it at the moment, though? There's something really. Heck, I mean, I don't know when Pride weekend is until like right-wing people start streaming it and going, "Oh, no, Pride bad," and it's like, "Oh, it's Pride. Look."
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I think the right wingers, especially the Daily Wire bunch, the Chappelle, what's it called, the Shapiro's and Matt Walsh and these guys. This is a massive winning sort of strategy for them. What they found is that if they can focus, because I think these people are homophobic as well. I think these people are anti-gay. These are highly religious individuals. Matt Walsh is a heavy Catholic. Shapiro is a Jew. They're religious Jews and religious sort of Catholics. So they really adhere to their tenets. And they don't like homosexuality as a whole. I can guarantee you in private conversations.
I'd definitely smash Matt Walsh.
Well, I'm sure you're not alone on that one. But what I'm saying is that they found that they couldn't win by saying, homosexuality bad, we should get rid of homosexuality. And nobody gives a shit about them. Homosexuality has become so entrenched and so commonplace in our society now. If you start telling people we don't like homosexuals, most people are going to tell you to go fuck yourself, the same as if you don't like black people or you don't like Spanish people or Arab people. Racism is as intolerant. People are as intolerant towards racists as they are towards homophobes. So nobody gives a shit. That's not. They couldn't win on gay people bad sort of march. What they seem to have gained some ground on, or what they seem to have managed to get some wins on, is stop transitioning the kids.
Yeah,
and that's where they're winning strategy. That's why they're hyper focused on that, is because
that was the thing that got me today about that video. It's like, I didn't know about that, and I mean, I was quite sexually curious. And a 10-year-old, that's
yeah. So what they found,
bodily fluids and kind of that, like, two mummies, two daddies, that's fine, but there should be not until you're doing biology, in like, you've taken your options, you're doing a subject.
Precisely.
Now you can talk about bodily fluids because you've chosen to, but
that's what I mean. That's the
no 10-year-old needs to know about that.
Yeah,
no 10-year-old needs to know about that, and it doesn't matter whether it's gay, straight, trans, or what.
Precisely.
Precisely.
But this is what they found. They found that they can harp on about this. And what I've found, and this is the insidious part of people like Walsh and the Daily Wire bunch, is that from time to time they insert homophobic material in amongst this as well. And so I've noticed there's actually been somewhat of a bit of a, like, even yourself, I'm not that sort of hyped up about Pride Month anymore, because I've seen men with assless chaps and all sorts of BDSM gear running around with toddlers.
It depends what bars you go to. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm talking in the middle of the street. That's the thing. There's no bars. This is a dude wearing a ball gag and a leather gear, BDSM leather gear, in the middle of the frigging street, and there's like toddlers around, and they are now hyper focusing on that. Sorry?
Yeah, I mean, it's provided. I don't think you get a lot of that in London.
I've seen it. I've seen it on videos.
Yeah, I mean, I watched one video and I recognised each clip out of it over a span of about 10 years. And I was like, here, there, boom, boom.
But what I'm trying to say is that is actually, I've noticed they are using this to go against, where they say we're going against pride, indoctrinating the children. But actually, I've noticed they're slipping in homophobia amongst that as well. and that's why they're turning a lot of people off.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, Pride itself isn't helping. Don't get me wrong, with all the stuff
No,
that they're doing.
What's his face? Jim, correct, not political. He actually had a really good question when he was asking people. He was like, "Has it been taken over by big businesses?" And it's like, "Yes, it has."
Well, that as well.
And you know,
for crying out loud, we had Lockheed Martin sponsor a Pride float. Lockheed Martin.
Really?
Yes. There's a Pride thing sponsored by Barclays, sponsored by Lockheed Martin. What the fuck is Lockheed Martin? It's a weapons manufacturer. Fucking promoting Pride fucking events. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Oh, hold on. We've got another guest. Bear with me, good sir. I will have you on board shortly.
Be the Polish boy.
No, it's Mr. Mossad. Hello, sir.
Hello.
You've been listening for some time.
A few minutes.
How's things with you?
I'm okay. I'm just tired. So if I sound tired, that's because I am.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm knackered.
How is
It's very late.
I mean, we actually also had a little segment on Israel and the BBC's bias. But what was your what would you like to discuss with us?
No, just about what you were talking. Have you ever read some of these philosophers, some of the quotes at least, or some paragraphs that started this queer movement, like Simone de Beauvoir, the feminist, and Foucault?
No, actually.
Foucault, I have.
There's a lot of the stuff is about that to break this capitalist evil system, you need to break up the family.
It's a political movement.
Women
Yes.
will never be free while the family structure exists, and you have to break it all up. And she also, Simone de Beauvoir, she said that laws like age of consent and so on are
You just made a really
what's the-
relevant point.
what's
It's
the
got
word?
more
It's,
to do with politics than
it's against
sexuality.
the rights of children to have sex.
What?
So it's against
You
human,
understand?
like the children's rights, if we stop them from indulging in sexual intercourse.
Yes.
I mean, if they want to inject heroin, you would stop them as well.
I don't know if she
And
discussed
that's
that,
certainly-
but she would probably be for it because it would help break up families if the if babies are
It's
heroin
anything to
junkies.
break up the family structure, the family.
Yes.
What's
Yes. And this is deep. It's not like, oh, it's just a little thing. This is deep within the whole idea of the feminist movement. It's a neo-Marxism. It's not just feminism. You know, anyone who thinks it's just feminism doesn't get
Interesting.
it. It's
But
all
why-
it's all like branches of the same thing, and it's all against this patriarchy and capitalism and all this. It's against the structures as we know them, because they created all this terrible inequality, and all we need is a revolution that will destroy it all. So they tried it with the workers, but the workers today are just too spoiled. They've got the big screens and all the toys.
I see.
So
But
the
what
people
is
that
the
can
what's
get
the end
angry
game?
are the end game is to destroy the current structure so that they can take power. You know, the people, the good people, the ones, the just ones. I mean, it's the same as the Russian Revolution. It's the same sentiment. The revolutionary sentiment. You know, the system. It's the system, man. If we only destroy the system, everything will be great.
But
it's
we live off the system. We suckle on the teat of the system.
Yeah, I mean, the trouble is that the system is screwed. Whatever the system is, it's screwed. But it's screwed because it's made of people, and we are not very good at doing stuff. I mean, we're pretty good, but we're also not great, you know. So things are not going to be as good as you'd want them to be.
Unless you've got a backup system, don't destroy one.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
yeah.
Any system you create will have flaws, right? Any.
But that's the problem, because I mean I agree with the problems of crony capitalism, And this
Yeah,
system
there
that
are
we currently have.
lots of problems.
Yeah.
Look, we can all agree on problems, but it's like the instinct what to do about it. I think there's something psychological going on. Like, I think that there's people who are creative, and I don't mean they have to be artists. It could be a guy that works in a factory or stacks up shelves at a supermarket or whatever they do. They actually are creating. Some people don't have the mental kind of capacity to suffer to do that, you know, and to earn a living, even if it's not a great living, but you're still being productive, you're still helping others, and you're making a decent, you know, you're paying your way. And some people are destructive. And if you can find a way, if you're not creative, you're destructive. The only way you can have joy is in destruction. I'm sure you know the fun of seeing something destroyed. People watch, you know.
You get kids that build sandcastles, and you get kids that like to jump on other kids'
Yeah,
sandcastles.
and there's fun in destroying stuff, building something, then burning it. There's a certain joy in it. I don't know, something you can get out of like seeing things destroyed. You know, people like to see.
If you've made it, and then you've destroyed it,
even if you didn't, like, if there's a demolition, people stand and watch it because there's something awesome about
Train
it.
accidents, car accidents.
Yeah. So there's some sort of, we get some pleasure from destruction, not from the fact that people suffer, but the actual awesomeness of the thing being destroyed, you know? That's the only option for someone who doesn't have the mental capacity to persevere and be creative, because creating is much harder than destroying, right? Building the castle takes a lot of time, kicking it takes a second.
Yeah,
like you said.
Well, you see these what's it called? Directed demolitions. These ones where the buildings collapse in on each other. These buildings take years to build, but it takes 10 seconds for them to fall.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's laws of physics. It's easier to destroy than to build. But the point I'm making, just to get to the end, is so if they're lucky, they find a way to channel their destructive force through politics, through being activists, through being all these sort of things, where you can develop theories that explain why you're destroying would be good. And I think it comes from that psychology of someone who feels outside the system and completely ejected from it, and the only joy they're going to get from the system is to destroy it. I think it's actually psychological at the basis of it. And trying to argue with them, you know, it's like, because you were saying like logical things, like, you know, you were trying to reason just earlier before I joined. And I don't think it works, because we've been arguing with them for like 10 years, right? It doesn't seem to work.
But what can we do though? What can we actually?
I don't know, because like you know, you say to them, "Look, I don't want my daughter to go into a toilet, but in a cinema where there's some man going in the toilet there." I mean, if he goes in, then people will throw him out. That's what will normally happen. I mean, most cases, obviously, there's risk in everything you do, but normally that's what would happen.
True.
I don't want this stuff. And people argue with you about it. So if you have to argue from that point, I mean, obviously you're arguing, you know, it's like arguing with jihadi, there's no Allah.
But I mean, there must be, because the thing is, I mean, okay, if we say we have all these different issues, you know, the capitalism, crony capitalism, I think there's solutions to that. There's ways to balance this out and regain some of the power that we've relinquished to all the corporations that have allowed the politics to be infected.
The crony
and
capitalism isn't left or right, though, is it?
Well, no, exactly.
It really isn't left or right.
Absolutely, and the issue of trying to regain the power of and give the power back to the governments and the people, effectively, not even the governments, the people, should be within the solution should be available to us. We should be able to solve this issue and again balance out the influence, the overwhelming influence that corporations have over our politics, over our lives. But that's one thing. But what I mean is all of these things have some sort of a solution. the whole bathroom thing. Now, for example, there's an article that I actually post. It was on Twitter. I saw that some guy was posting saying that the British government, is now proposing to this transphobic proposal of not allowing men unless they've got a certificate. It's a gender reassignment certificate. That means they've actually had gender reassignment surgery. Unless they've got a gender reassignment certificate, they're not allowed in women's spaces. So what they're proposing, which is I think is what they should do, is make male toilets unisex. Anyone can go into a male toilet. Female toilets exclusively for females.
Actually,
Yes, but
that's the best possible solution
I believe
I've heard so far.
Yeah, no, it obviously it's crazy that you have to make a law for this.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's where
so
we
the
are.
fact that you're making a law for this means that you are fighting against the stream. The stream is going one way, and you're trying to set up like barriers, and they're only temporary. There's a stream, and I don't have a solution, but I don't think that these laws,
No, but it doesn't matter whether
what I
it's-
worry about that it is going to be a very severe reaction eventually. I don't know if I'll be alive then, but there'll be a severe reaction against all this, and we've seen it before with, World War II.
Yes. Yeah. But what I will say, Mr. Mossad, I don't think this is going against the stream. I think this is actually going with the flow of the majority. The problem with this trans issue and these toilets and changing rooms and sports and all that is that we are yielding to a very small minority. If the majority actually wanted to stand up to this, we would crush them. We would absolutely annihilate these groups.
Okay, but
they would have no power.
Yes, but this is naive thinking because it doesn't work like this, right? Someone who's very activated is not just one person. So yes, the majority don't want it, but the majority of the majority don't really care that much about this. They've got other worries.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The people who are activated are the people who really are for it, and a small group of far-right wingers who are against it. These are the only activated ones. And when you count the activated ones, the gay agenda has the majority there.
No, but I think that tide is turning because there is a lot of groups like the TERFs group in the United Kingdom and other places that are encouraging. Because what happened was, like you said, there is the larger majority who don't care. They started to care when they came for their children, when it started to affect their children.
It could be, but I just sense that the changes that are happening are just irreversible. Like the fact that the family structure, the whole way we live is anti the family structure.
Yeah, but Mr. Mossad, you got to realize there are certain other elements in play which will affect the family structure, regardless of whether you want to blame it on certain Foucault or certain philosophies or not. The fact is that if
I don't blame it on them. I just say that they pushed, for these ideas.
I know, but what I mean is there are certain elements which once you put these elements into play in society, these outcomes will naturally occur. These are like natural phenomena that will come out. These are natural consequences of certain events. And the one big one is if you allow women to work, if you allow women to vote, if you allow women to have equal participation within society, women are going to choose certain paths which will not be conducive to a family structure. Because women have to sacrifice certain things to have children. Children are exceedingly demanding. Raising children is an exceedingly demanding project in itself. And you can't be a lawyer, you can't be a fighter jet pilot and be a mother of 4 or 5 kids. You just can't. I don't care who you are. You're not going to be successful. You're going to give up. One of these two things are going to suffer, either your career or your children. There is no winning it all. These people who say, I do it all are fooling themselves.
You see, what happened is when women started going out to work, right, the larger family structure still existed somewhat, so they could rely on their mums and their husband's mums, right, to take care of the kids. And they thought that, oh, that's what will happen in the future. They didn't realize that it's not going to work. They didn't do the math. You see what I mean? Because I remember my mom used to go to work because they needed the money. But it was fun for me because I would stay with one of my grandmas and they would spoil me and take me places and everything was great, you know. So, and then my mom would come pick me up and it's, oh, cool, great day. But it's not like this now, right?
Exactly. So you've lost already the extended family support system,
Yes.
which they say it takes a village to raise a child, which is true.
So
that's going all tribal.
So that's all gone, you see. So that's all gone.
But yeah, that
so
is
now
true.
there's all this daycare and all this stuff, and it's just we see the results. It's not good. We get people who are not very social. I mean, the young people are not social. They're not as curious as my generation was. Because I remember I compare the generation to when I was a kid, which was a long time ago. I'm an old guy. And
I thought you were young.
yeah, I'm young at heart.
Me too. I'm 50. How old are you?
Older than you.
Damn.
Okay.
We got some seasoned individuals on the panel.
So you probably remember it too if you're 50. When we were kids, we were a lot more curious, and we would go out and do all these adventures that kids don't do now.
Well, the thing is, they do different things. Now, one thing I will say,
they do it on the internet.
For the internet generation.
No,
they do it on the internet.
Yes.
It's not the same.
Well, this is the thing. For you, it's not the same. And it may be that there's a lot of other things that are lost in this form of communication. Ironically, when you say children are not sociable, they have more social media outlets than ever before, and yet they are less sociable in person. That is true.
Of course.
And that's
less sociable periods. And because all of these connections are not true connections, right? Like, I mean,
they're the McDonald's of social. But
if your channel closes, right, for whatever reason, or mine, or whatever, and that's it. You're never going to talk to me again. You know what I mean? It's like we're never going to talk to each other again. And we could have this relationship where I call in every week and we talk for years, and then suddenly I disappear, and that's it. That doesn't happen in real life, man. If it happens in real life with a real friend, you call the police, because where is he?
Your doorstep, knocking, where are you?
It's true. It is true.
It's not real. It's not real.
It's not even that. I mean, they say as far as the percentage divide is, the largest form of communication, a method of communication in human beings is actually body language. It's like 70%, and something around 20% or 25% is actually tonality, and in the region of 5 to 10% are the actual words you use are the actual communication. So we are in this virtual environment are missing one of the massive amount of human interaction, human communication, which is body language, because you very rarely can assess that in a text message.
And that's not even taking account, the emotional thing. And as the younger you are, the more it's important, right? I mean, the physical connection, when you're a toddler, you're being picked up by your parents. It's all very important.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's a whole other sort of level of interaction, the physical contact that you have. But yes,
well, still as an adult, you have physical contact. That we still need it. So it's all very important. And
it is true. It is true. I mean, you can cope with it much better as an adult than you would. When you're being socialized by your parents, to communicate amongst and live amongst society, and I think that probably may or may not lead to, I mean, we'll have to see the data on that, to a lot more sort of sociopathic behaviors from the younger generation.
Yeah, and I also think it reduces creativity. The world was more mysterious when I was a kid, right?
Maybe I'm not entirely sure about that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, someone mentioned the Bermuda Triangle and we speculated about it, knowing nothing about it. We had all sorts of fantasies about it and what could cause it and stuff. Now you just look it up online and think, it's just another conspiracy bullshit story. And, back then you could have like 2 or 3 late night conversations about something like this.
Yeah, but the thing is, now, fair enough. It's just like saying, back in the day when I used to have to count everything on an abacus, and then a calculator came along and I lost all my mental arithmetic skills. And it's true, we do lose some things, but the thing is, with the technology that comes, when you no longer have to worry about one particular type of thing, like having to calculate something because you have a calculator, you don't have to worry about mental arithmetic. You spend your time focused on another thing. So if kids are no longer speculating over the Bermuda Triangle, I am hoping, now this is my section where I'm simply inserting my particular hope on this, is that they are actually investigating deeper philosophical things about the world and the nature of existence than the Bermuda Triangle. So if they're not, because they can get access to the Bermuda Triangle information, they're no longer thinking and debating that, but they're spending their time on more deeper philosophical things that they can't simply Google. You know what I mean?
Are they?
Well, that's what I'm hoping.
I see more is.
I said I'm hoping.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It
seems that people. Sorry, go. You didn't get a chance. So.
I'm a 50-year-old man, and I have to really make a concerted effort to steer clear of the drama. So, how hard would it be for a teen growing up through social media to? It must be very hard.
How do you mean?
Well,
to simply be involved in like the Kardashian style dramas of life rather than actually getting into more deeper existential issues of life, the meaning of life and the universe.
I'm not sure.
It's kind of hard to express it, but I just can't see that a world would work very well if people are completely unsocial.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure what would happen.
The thing is, we are going to have a whole array of automated stuff. Like you said, the creativity thing. A lot of people were talking about how AI, artificial intelligence. Oh, can it paint a beautiful picture? Can it make poetry? Ironically, when we actually got AI, we realized, no, actually it can paint a beautiful picture and write poetry better than most humans.
I had it write a tweet to Roger Waters in the style of Roger Waters.
So there you go. So it seems that AI can actually accomplish all the things that we were always claiming that AI can't.
What I said, it's the creativity you put into it.
Yes. It was really good. It was like a classic depressed English lefty.
So I mean, I think a lot of that stuff is going to be outsourced to AI at some point anyway.
Yeah,
so we don't have to worry about the young generation being that creative.
That sounds even worse. When I say creative, I don't mean doing art necessarily. Building a wall or cleaning a bus stop. It doesn't matter. You're creating something. You're ordering the world. You see what I mean? You're putting order. You're not destroying. You're part of the system in some way,
Well, good evening.
Hello.
What's the topic? What's the topic, basically? The AI?
No. Sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Massa.
Well, it's your topic, but he started talking about BBC degenerates.
Yeah.
And then we started about the degenerates in general, and what do we do to stop them?
In general, it's an ironic name to be, especially with current headlines when one guy basically announced to the entire world that he will be sharing his wife with a No, not with the British Broadcasting Corporation, with the other BBC. So
Are you talking about the
Who, what,
Adam
where?
22? Yeah, there was a guy
Yeah, I'm
who's
talking about him.
who's kind of semi-porn producers themselves. They produce adult
Yeah,
material.
they're
Him and his
a
wife.
bunch of degenerates anyway.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but the
yeah,
thing
but
is, when you're in the
So
adult
he's
porn
shagging a
industry,
porn actress.
yeah, I mean, he was
Okay,
married to a
yeah.
woman who was making porn, and him and her were making porn and making a fortune out of it.
Amazing.
And then she decided, okay, she's going to start doing videos with other men, or at least I don't know, maybe
How
between
do
them
they make
decided.
money? Who pays for this? Who pay? I mean,
you'll
it's
be
free.
surprised. You'll be
it's
surprised.
It's free. It's free. Why would you pay?
Nah, you'll be surprised, Mr. Mossad.
I will be surprised.
You
Why
know,
would you
People
pay?
pour money into the pockets of these people is
I'd be
unbelievable.
surprised as well, which is.
I mean,
Yeah, no, people do. People
no,
spend
but
a fortune
who
on
does
these.
pay for it?
A lot
Do
of
people actually get their credit cards out and buy
Anyway.
this?
Yes. Look, there was a. I don't know if you guys know. There's a particular. Okay, Mr. Mossad. After I finish my little statement, I'm going to ask you a question because someone in the chat has asked you a question about the gender toilet situation in Israel. But hold on to that and come in on that after I just finish this. There was a girl, a bunch of women on a podcast called the Whatever Podcast. This podcast tends to have a lot of OnlyFans models come on the show, and these
Yes, I know
OnlyFans
it,
models
yeah.
get slated on that show. They get ripped apart
Yes.
by the audience. The audience is always, oh, she's a thought, she's this, she's that, she's terrible, she's an idiot, she doesn't have good opinions. Literally, they tear these women apart in the chat, and then those same men go and subscribe to their OnlyFans of these women because these women's OnlyFans grows by thousands after every show. They literally get thousands
That's
of
quite
subscribers to their OnlyFans after every show they go on. So those same
Yes.
men who are talking
No,
crap about
no,
these
no.
women are paying them
No.
on their OnlyFans.
It's not the same man. It's not the
Trap
same
bot.
man. It's from the same audience, but it's not
Yes.
the same man.
Well, yeah, it's the same
necessarily.
audience for sure. But what I mean is, there's a
Yes, but,
highly
you know,
likely chance that those same men
but-
who are talking shit about these women are the ones who are subscribing to their own channels.
Probably.
But I watch The Academic Agent, and some crazy nutties watch The Academic Agent. And
Yeah.
the same with what's his name, Sargon.
Yeah.
You know, he's got some pretty nutty audience, and he's got a lot of Israelis that like him. And,
Yeah, but the
and a
thing
lot of
is, that's
Jews
not
as
the
well.
point. I don't have to pay for Sargon. I don't go to Lotus Eaters and pay him money for his content. I just watch the free stuff and I skip the rest. These are paying customers for their OnlyFans that these women
Yeah.
are part
No,
of.
I'm just saying that there's different groups in the audience. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the same man. I doubt it's the same man.
But
Literally
anyway,
saying, "Oh,
I wager that those same men who are giving these women crap are the ones who are going and subscribing to them. One of the girls, I'll give you an example.
Most of them don't look very good. They look like plastic surgery gone
Oh,
bad.
and I want to say something because I really have to. I mean, I was shamed and mocked for watching porn when I finally got the internet for quite a few months. Like, yeah, I was quite a consumer back then. Now, when the people are doing shit like that, are paying for bath water of a woman from the
Yes.
internet, buy it. How do they look now, even compared to me, to my young self, barely in my 20s, when they are doing that shit, when I was watching it for free, when they are paying, I mean, millions even at times for fucking bath water, because
Yeah.
they're like some bitch.
They're buying these women's bathwater. No, the thing. There is a woman. There was a young 21-year-old girl who was kind of a feminist girl on the Whatever Podcast, and she got totally torn limb from limb on the internet. People clipped her bad takes on this and that, and they were like mocking her and all sorts of things. Then she went back a few weeks later. She went back on the podcast. Guess what happened? Someone paid for her entire Amazon Prime, what's it called? They have these wish list. They bought her the entire wish list after that first podcast. And people were like, "Oh, we hate her." She did, and then they go and pay for her entire wish list on.
Well, yeah,
Prime.
the thing is, there could be someone watching who is like
The worst kind of those of the people.
The
Holy
simps.
shit, I hate
It's the
them both.
simps.
Yeah.
The simps are killing us. Anyone who tries to actually push back
I
against
don't get
women's
it.
overbearing,
And by the way,
demanding fucking attitudes, the simps just destroy it every time. Every time we're like, men, have standards, have lines in the sand. Don't fucking simp for women. You give all this advice, and then some fucking simp goes and buys her entire wish list from Amazon, and she's like, I was right the whole time. It just confirms her entire opinion. This woman is never going to change. Why should she?
Yeah. Or he'll give you shit later for being a pig to a girl because she was a bitch to you and you made her pay for the entire date, like I did once. Hey, you are such a pig for her. Yes, I am. I'm a fucking wild hog, wild boar at times, and proud of it.
There was another.
Look, I have a theory. I have a theory, right? I think it goes like this: the instinct of the woman, like the basic instinct, is to demand stuff because evolution, biology.
And,
the instinct
The
of the
most
man is to provide
honest-
stuff, and we are in competition between us, the men, to provide the best stuff to get the woman, right? And the competition got harder once women became more independent, and now we're seeing this kind of
and fucking social media became a thing.
And women are now elevated to a level where they're like royalty. The young women, they're like some kind of royalty. You have to be careful how you talk to them and don't upset them, and on this stuff. They have a Women's Month now. I was like, as a company I work for in Tel Aviv, I go there. Oh, it's Women's Month. There's like a box
month?
with a whole month.
Yeah,
it was a
of
few
course, yeah,
months ago. I can't
International
remember.
Women's Month. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same as, there is one for men. It's November, but nobody.
Yeah,
gives a
nobody
crap.
cares.
Nobody gives a crap about the men's one.
You know,
actually, I don't
it's
think
women. They just
Grow
it's because
moustache.
it's women. If you tell them there's an office party, they go crazy. They start hanging shit in place and making. They gives them something to do. They like it. The men carry on working. See the men on the phone. You see the women having a committee on how to organize the party. It's like.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
It's just basically people standing with beers in their hand, a big deal, party.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I have to say that now because so my insane theory about matriarchal cultures. Yeah, I made it up when I was drunk, basically. That especially a culture where your nationality goes through the maternity lines, because I know that basically the best way to be a Jew is to be born out of a Jewish woman. So we would lead to that sooner or later. So, oh shit, I was right. I thought I was talking shit about it from a drunk man's mouth, but yeah, mine in a way is too. It's a Slavic culture, it's a Eastern European one in a way. So you know how it is there.
The thing is that why the Jews went that way. I mean, there are all sorts of theories, but
I know why.
Go on. What theory do you know?
I assume because women are hypergamous, they are less loyal to any tribe, any kind of a tribe, no matter what nation. They would choose the stronger, better tribe, and
all women.
Probably the rabbis have to write something like that in their scriptures and in the rules to make sure that this nation will not. How to say it? Vanish in the diaspora. The diasporas basically will cease to exist if that probably wouldn't be a thing. Am I wrong? Then correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it could be. I mean, we don't really. There's no official reason. I looked. You know what? I forgot what the reasons I read, but I was gonna say something else. Now I forgot what I was gonna say. After around the year 100 or so, one of the leading Jewish rabbi declared that it would be a very good idea that everybody could read and write, so that they could continue to do the prayers and so on now that the temple is gone. So it became the norm that everybody could read and write, but that was only for men. So boys from the age of 5 would learn to read and write. But after a few hundred years, they decided this wasn't working very well, and the reason was that the mums didn't know how to read and write and couldn't help or encourage the kids. And they wrote this thing at some point that the mom is the one that sets the tone and the spirit of the home. And if she doesn't know, the prayers and the tradition, it will be hard for the father to maintain it on his own. And I from having a family and stuff, I have to say that it's true. The woman does set the spirit of the home.
Yeah.
Regardless of religion or whatever. You could
Mr.
be the most macho guy and what it doesn't matter.
Mr. Masad,
You could.
Can I just bring in the question that someone asked? So, is there an issue with, like you said, there was the women's International Women's Month, but is there an issue
Yes.
with toilets and transgender issues in Israel as well? Are they facing the same sort of issues as we are?
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember cases specifically. I know there was a few months ago. There was like the far left was arguing for the rights of some kid to have trans surgery. The rights. How dare you go against the human rights of a child? You're cruel to children. It's like what?
Okay, too bad that we cannot declare Marxists to be non-humans. That it will be a very amazing thing to happen.
Yeah, I don't. It's like a variation of. It's not exactly Marxist. I think it's just like I said earlier, just a destructive force in people. They kind of don't know how to create, and the only thing they know is how to destroy. It's the only way they can have fun, and all the rest of it is just intellectualizing that urge to destroy. So it doesn't. The reason I said it doesn't matter. Like if you agree with gay marriage, the next thing they'll say, because they'll say, okay, we destroyed that, now let's destroy something else. So what can we do? Okay, let's do this. And the next frontier will be pedophilia. They've been pushing for it since the 50s at least,
Well, thing
Well,
is,
not
there's a whole bunch of people from Berlin who seem to be mainly straight and seem to be very pro paedophilia, and they're infiltrating the LGBTQ plus whatever.
There's a whole history in Germany of this.
They are utilising that political movement. Most gays don't know about it because they're just at home. There's a bunch of activist, gay teenagers really being pushed to be kind of cannon fodder and to push the agenda.
Yeah. It just what frontier can I break? It's like there's a certain fun in it, to be the first of something, to push a boundary.
They not necessarily. There's one thing that they don't like when we destroy. I mean, when we remove Soviet monuments, for example, they are getting quite pissed off at times, and they don't like it when those things are getting toppled.
Right. Good point. These are symbols of destruction. You must not destroy them.
That's quite meta.
Yes, I'm just trying to cover all options with my theory. But I think there's a lot of it is like a rebellious nature trying to just. I feel a lot of people just don't know how to fit in, and they can't see how it would work, and they just feel this disdain for everything. Like. I can relate to that. I can understand it. If you are not in a good position in life because you are a degenerate of some sort or you're poor, you could view the whole thing very cynically,
Yeah.
the whole world and how everyone is so busy with themselves and no one cares about you and blah, blah, blah. System, man. It's the system.
Let's see if we can pivot to something else. I'll be honest. So I'm very, very dry on my subject line today. I just had that.
Go get a whiskey.
Yeah, I just had the idea with the Hugh Edwards thing, and then that's it. Everything else was just...
Normally, when I'm on, I attract some crazy anti-Semite, and then we can have a shouting match.
I
for
don't
half an
think
hour.
7 out of 10 people in America are...
Well, it'll be hard to bring Mark Collette here, so...
Are you a Russian, dude? Former
No.
romantic? No. Where are you
Actually,
from?
Polish.
Polish. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, MC's MC's
I
around
have
the corner
some
from.
ancestry.
Actually, yeah, MC.
Some ancestry in Poland.
You're on the borders of Ukraine. How is things going over there? And do you have any reports that we don't get in the? Because I know that we get a curated amount of information here.
Well, what can I say for my Polish heart? Never. For such a long time, so many Russians haven't died in such a short time. I mean, 240,000 almost are dead now.
Really?
Thanks to, yes, I'm sure that much more Ukrainians have died, but the thing is, those are mostly civilians, women and children, cattle. I mean, whatever that they did rape. Not to mention, by the way, Mossad, don't ever speak about toilets in the front of a Russian. He may want to invade your country if you hear about the quality of them. I'm just wondering why they invade Ukraine, but not Japan. But that's another thing. Oh, what else? The counteroffensive actually is not going very well. I mean, because the Ukrainians are not the American army. They don't have figured out and having all the blitzkrieg stuff in check like the Americans have. The coordination, the working together between the ground forces and the air forces. It doesn't happen with them, that, unfortunately. And what can I say? The Russian numbers have created a stalemate. They have still so many people to throw at the Ukrainians, much less equipment. I mean, I do believe that they have lost 4,000, at least 4,000 tanks. Although the Oryx side claims that there are only 2,200 of them destroyed, but you have to count all of those that they have captured, all the ones that the Russians have left, and the ones that they have probably restored to work. All of that junk. Oh, another thing. Well, what can I say? The Bakhmut is going probably back to the Ukrainians soon. It's insane, actually. They were so proud about taking that one little city, 70,000 people. That's how large it was. The Russians have lost 100,000 to take it, and they have inherited only rubble.
And you're saying they're going to lose this back to
yes,
the Ukrainians.
Yes, that's fucking hilarious, actually, to me. They were bragging so much about how they have finally taken over Bakhmut.
But why? I mean, this is an insane, just the insane project of just killing off Russians and Ukrainians too. But I mean, this is not going to get anywhere. This doesn't look like they're going to even achieve any of their set goals. It just seems like a monumental waste of life. It's incredibly sad that they embarked on this with. It just doesn't seem like this is. I mean, is this going to be kind of another Afghanistan for the Russians? Basically, they go there.
Nah, it will be even worse, sir. Afghanistan. The Afghans didn't have all of those weapons that Ukrainians have. They had RPGs, Stinger missiles, and horses. Maybe they haven't drive any vehicles, anything. It was a mountainous region. Then the Russians have lost 15,000 soldiers in Afghanistan in 10 years. Well, out of the Afghan population, there was then 18 million. They have killed, civilians mostly, 2 million. So it's like 1/9 of the entire population of Afghanistan. And this time they have lost much, much more than that. Such losses like in Ukraine, Afghanistan haven't seen that, because Afghanistan basically is a third world country. It was and it is. Ukraine, at least with its army, at least quality-wise, was on par. The Russians have 10 times more of everything, but good for Ukrainians. They basically don't know how to use it because they don't put competent people in that system above, but people that are loyal to the tyrant, to the Tsar, to the general secretary, whatever, because it's a mafia state, basically. It's not state based on skills, principles, and hard work. It's more about loyalty and you get me, and connections there. Always was. It never changed. So the Russians can only hope about one thing, that they will not run out of people sooner, and Ukraine and somebody will stop all that help to Ukraine. Well, even later actually, because as I said, they are good on manpower, and all those minorities basically that they're using just as cannon for their first from all those quote unquote autonomic republics that actually are their colonies in that huge country.
All right.
That's it for now.
Cool. So yeah, this thing is going to end up in a stalemate, I think, for Russia. I don't know, Mr. Mossad. Do you want to give us any kind of insight into anything that's happening in Israel in regards to this Palestinian attack that was happening recently? Is that all squashed now? Is that settled, or is that still ongoing?
The reason I didn't say anything is I went to get myself a drink. Back.
Are you okay? Are you recovered?
Yes, I'm just bringing it near the.
All right. In that case, we'll let you do your drink thing until.
Yeah.
Until you're
so
ready.
what Palestinian, the attack in Jenin, the Israeli
This
army?
recent sort of campaign, is this like finished now? Is this done, or is this still ongoing?
I don't know. The reason for it is Iran is it's your buddies. It's your fault, man. Your buddies in Iran.
Is it?
They're sending weapons to crazy people in Palestinian towns, and they started attacking Israelis and being a bit too much. They killed several Israelis. They tried to shoot a rocket or something. It failed. I don't know exactly what happened, but they actually trying to shoot rockets at the center of Israel, not at some border towns, and that gets everybody very worked up. Like I'm sure if London was under bombs, people will start taking notice. So
yeah,
they went in. They took a lot of the weapons. They killed 11 or so. What they call militants. So these are known quantities. All these people, they have photos of them with their weapons, training and with slogans, keep the Jews and all that stuff. So the UN said Israel is killing children by a 17-year-old with a machine gun and a machete is coming towards your family, which they have, and they killed this, Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph from
Israeli advocacy movement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So a rabbi, he knows his 2 daughters were murdered.
Yes, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a few weeks back.
Yeah. So people have enough, and they put pressure on the government to do something. So they did.
So this.
Well, it sounds a little bit like my adventures in London at times. I mean, Pakistani probably families or from other Muslim countries, they did sometimes send their kids to provoke me, and then later the kids run away to them back. When they knew things can go south for them. I mean, what kind of a fucking parents are that? Sending their own kids to danger, to piss off an adult.
And the sad thing is that the relationship between the Arabs and Israelis have deteriorated over the decades. They haven't improved. There's not been all this talk of peace process. There's more animosity. Yeah. As a kid, I used to go to Arab towns and just walk around and buy sweets or ice cream or whatever. Now you wouldn't dare. It's just scary.
So,
what can I say? With the with many people from many Muslim countries, it is exactly like with the Russians. Everywhere you will be strong and armed to the teeth and show that you can accept cruel, savage violence against them, or they would, or you will not. And if you will not, they will take it and see it as a weakness. And I'm sorry, but you are their bitch.
Yeah.
After that.
And Israel has never, despite all the stories, Israel has been very soft from the start. So, but it was the Arabs were very disorganized. It was not so difficult to
like the
stun
Russians.
them. Well, there's lots of Russians in Israel, and there's a channel on YouTube of someone I actually know, and he's Russian, and he gets all these ex-Russians to tell stories, and analyze what's going on, and some of them are very knowledgeable, and a few of them were in Russian intelligence, Russian army, or worked for manufacturing stuff that the army uses. So they have a lot of knowledge. And they were saying, like, giving examples of the stuff they saw, like the corruption. They were saying, like, the army is Russian army is a mess. I mean, the corruption. They said, like, with the trucks that you have to move them. You know that one?
Oh, I get it. We had problems with it similar. We were part of the Warsaw Pact, so
yes.
We had their equipment. They have given it to us. And some of them were so low quality at times, and we always had to fix them every few days.
Yeah, but what they do, like say you're in charge of the trucks, and they park them, right? They don't use them all the time, so they park them. But if they park them for too long, the tires are destroyed from the weight of the truck. So you have to move them and park them slightly different each time, so it's not the same. So they give you a budget for fuel, right? But nobody checks if you move them or not. So you keep the money. You don't have to drive trucks all around all day. You can go and play cards or drink or whatever, and at the expense of the Russian army. So that's what they do. So they a lot of times they come to drive the trucks and they go, the tires are the tires are just square.
And with that story, you convinced me that must be a credible and worth channel to listen and subscribe to. It really sounds like the Russian army, like immensely.
Yes, I mean, they said not everything is like that. They describe, things that are, kind of elite hardcore units, and there's some stuff. But on the whole, it's a real mess. This is why they had to use this Wagner group. They used them in Syria as well, and they've taken over a lot of mines and natural resources, and it's all like you don't know if it's a mafia. There's no word in the dictionary to describe the type of setup they've got there.
Well, the disregard for the rule of the law, it's another thing in that country, and I know it because even the Wagner group shouldn't be allowed to exist. It's a private military organization. This thing, according to the Russian law, and I read through it, is illegal there. But well, in a country where basically the rule of the law, as I said, means almost nothing, you can have it, but it is owned privately by some Russian governmental officials. So it's okay because they are Russian governmental officials.
Now it turns out this guy Prigozhin, he has a private jet. Right?
Damn.
Now what? He flew on his private jet to Finland for some. He had some stuff to do. He wanted to have a coffee, so I don't know what he had to do. He flew in his private jet. Why does he have a private jet? Because I know people in the army, and I mean even like not general, but one below. I forget what you call them. But they don't have a private jet. They tend to have a nice house, but they don't have private jets.
Well,
So I
what
don't
can,
understand.
well, what can I say? He probably have licked Putin's ass or dick enough to show whatever loyalty or whatever way you're doing it in Russia to get that privilege. I mean, the
Well,
oligarchy there is it's like the
they
elite there.
they muscle in on mines and all sorts of industry in Africa and the Middle East. In Syria, and they've done it, and in Central Africa as well. I'm not sure which countries, but it's basically it's known, and there are some Russian Israelis that are somehow involved as well, like not exactly legal types, you know what I mean? But
I know.
you know, kind of mafia types.
Well, does coming from Russia doesn't actually surprise me.
Yeah,
And,
we got a lot of very, very smart Russians and a few very, very.
well, of course, but
Yeah.
of course they are such ones too. But I'm sure when the Russians first arrived in Israel after the collapse of the Soviet Union, people were upset about their local customs that have taken in with them to Israel, like knife fighting, excessive drunkenness for sure.
Yes,
So,
the drunkenness, yes, and also they're so they like to wear jewelry and makeup and wigs, and they're like, you know, very
oh shit! Yeah,
flamboyant.
The
You
Russian
know,
woman
and
are like basically fucking princesses, like out of this world. I
yeah,
don't know.
and Israel is kind of more. It's not exactly modest, but you know, it's kind of toned down a bit. It's not that crazy. So they stick out though. They kind of we call them the shiny ones for a while.
Oh yeah, a Russian woman and modesty, to be honest, and
Yeah.
well, two things that don't go together usually. I mean, I'm sorry, but whenever I talk to one or another, I always felt that she's talking down to me, and not only to me. Like,
But you know what's funny? When I listen to the right wing in the West, they think that the Russians are like based Christians and stuff. And I tell you, when Russians come to Israel, they don't go to visit the holy sites, you know, of Christianity and all that stuff. They go to the beach, they look for gambling, they look for all sorts of stuff like this, right? The ones that actually come to the holy sites are Nigerian Christians. They love this stuff, man. And some American Christians. They come, they go, they really love it. You know, they see the places where Jesus did this and that, and they're like, you know, great.
because the right wingers have their romantic fantasy about some last, like the last
Yeah.
world that they will revive or somehow will go to. But in fact, if the I mean, I would never want to be a Russian Christian, and especially in their branch of Christianity. I'm not a Christian, by the way, but the Russian Orthodox Church, I would rather return to Catholicism than be a member of the Russian Orthodox Church. First of all, even small things. You stand 3 fucking hours in that church on the mass. You don't have no right to sit. And the most, yes, and the most important thing in that is basically it's a governmental institution. It's
Yes.
closely tied to the government, and that means that Putin is more important than God, more important than Jesus, or any or even any prophet from Abraham till today. If
Yes.
if Putin says that it is in the scripture that Jesus sucked his dick, it's true, and if you oppose it, you are a heretic.
Yes. Putin is like an unknown quantity, you know, because sometimes we think he likes Israel. Sometimes he hates Israel. He says the weirdest things. He sometimes does a lot of pro-Jewish things and then does very anti-Jewish things. We don't understand him. I don't get him.
Well, maybe he at least consider you partly. I mean, as a nation, as a state, strong. I mean, powerful, or even as a diaspora. So he's watching his back, and he's trying not to upset you too much.
No, he does upsetting things. He kicked out the rabbi. with quite a popular rabbi. I don't know. I'm not, but apparently that people didn't like that. And also he said, he repeated this nonsense thing that 75% of the Bolsheviks were Jews, which is not true, by the way, but I don't know why he had to repeat this.
Of course,
It's
it is not true.
It's not true, but it's it's kind of a Twitter meme. If you see it on Twitter, fine. But he's like a leader of a country, and it's not good for relations to say stuff like this, especially when it's not true.
I mean, if I would be living in Russia, and especially as a Russian Jew under the Tsardom, I couldn't blame any Jew for wanting to be a communist. But frankly, even if I would be a peasant there, I also would like to see the Tsar dead, if that would be me. So I can understand.
Yes, but they still, a lot of Jews did support the revolution, but not.
Can blame them.
Nothing like.
Cannot blame
I think
them.
it was like something like 7% or something like this, of the Bolsheviks were Jews, and it was like Ukrainians, a lot of Ukrainians, which is interesting. Georgians, a lot of Georgians. So it seemed to be a lot of representation from the minorities, right, in the Bolshevik movement.
Well, because the Tsardom of Russia was an oppressive ethno-state with vicious Russification as a program, and with the intent of destruction, those minorities, their cultures, their traditions, their way of life, their history, by whatever means, including brutal genocide. In other words, the Russians could teach the Nazis how to be Nazis before they even were existing, with the history of that place.
Yes, and they had like this. They would take your child for 35-year military service, which was nice. You know about that one?
Yeah, I mean,
35
it was
years.
25, actually, yes. Under the Peter the Great,
25.
this thing was established. So yes, basically there was a. I mean, I don't know how I lost the word in English, but it was like a lotto, like this game in TV. And if you choose the wrong piece of paper, I'm sorry, you are going to 25 years to serve in the army, and there is no buts. And by the amount of life people had back then, I mean 45 or 40 something years, you were an old man, so you like literally old man in those times. So if you were surviving, you were basically coming out old. No marriage.
You also come out completely detached from where you came from, so it would break up families and traditions.
Of course.
Yeah,
but that's how it works.
Some Jews, they would do this trick where they if you only had one son, you could get away with the son not going to the army. So if they had a second son, they sometimes used to pretend he's adopted. And there's a case of two Israelis that spied for Russia, and they were basically twins that pretended to be, but they weren't identical, and they pretended to be one was actually adopted all their lives till they died, and it was only discovered after one of them died that they were pretending all their lives. They carried on the lie all their lives.
Wow.
Just to get out of the army originally, but then they used it for espionage to make it harder to know who's who, and
Damn.
Yeah. And they spied for the Soviets.
Interesting.
Someone that used to live in my street. When I was a kid, I lived in a specific street. On that street, I remember that house, walking to school every day. I remember the house, I used to pass it. That guy was an Iranian spy that lived there.
Bloody
Israeli.
hell.
Yeah, Israeli. That was an Iranian spy.
But he was working for the Iranian government.
Yeah, and he went to prison.
Bloody hell.
I remember his house. He had nice windows. Yeah, I remember it. He was just by the school. He was like,
my God.
As you walk towards the school, he would pass his house.
Yep, they are, I guess they hide in plain sight, as they say. All right, gentlemen. could we go around and because I got to get out of here. It's 1 a.m. now. Got to get some sleep.
Oh, I've got something for you. Are you
Sure.
interested in what's happening in Iran personally?
Yeah, sure. What's as in the protests for the women's protests or something else?
There was a conference in Belgium a few days ago to discuss Iran from a human rights perspective. There was like all sorts of less of, but there was one Israeli who was the only sane person there probably. His name is Dr. Kedar.
Okay.
If you want to look him up, he's really knowledgeable.
How do you
Actually,
spell his name?
Iran is not his Keidar.
Kei.
Now, sadly, Iran is not his main expertise. His main thing is the Arab Middle East.
Oh yeah.
But he, he knows quite a bit about Iran too. So,
do you have the
he knows
the link for the actual? I mean, is it more? Is it Mordechai? Mordecai?
Yes, Mordecai. Yeah,
Mordecai
it's based. It's like
Kedar.
a Persian name, man. It's a Persian name, dude. It's an ancient Persian name. Yeah.
I didn't realize Mordecai was Iranian, but okay. So I mean, I've got his name, I've got his wiki, but do you know the actual link for the conversation that we can zoom in on, home in on?
Well, no, because he gave the talk in Hebrew, but he said that he will release a recording of the speech he gave in the conference, along with all the other speakers that were on that day on his channel. So next time I'll. But if you look for stuff that he does,
I am.
He's got lectures in English. Then you can just listen to him. He's quite. He's got a bit of an accent, but he's quite clear.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah, I'll check it out because I've got his video right now. I'm gonna save that and go through it. He's talking to Dr. Najat Al Said and Dr. Mordecai Kedar about Israel and the Middle East. At least that's one video.
Could be interesting. I didn't watch that one, but yeah, anything with him is likely to be interesting. He did a whole series of lectures about the history of Muhammad, the history of Islam, the history of this. He knows a lot about. But anyway, he was saying just about the latest stuff is that one of the reasons the protests have died out is the Ukraine war. Because he's saying they noticed that nobody's sending them money, nobody cares, all the reporters are gone.
Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah.
Yeah,
So
the West has
they're
kind of-
waiting for the next opportunity.
Yeah, the Western media is kind of I mean, we knew that this would happen anyway. I suspected, and a lot of Iranians suspected that this was just one of the many waves of protests that are going to come. We're not really banking on this particular wave to be the one that finally breaks the camel's back, if you like, of the Iranian regime. But we will, these waves of protests will get more frequent, and they will just intensify as they come. And eventually,
And Israel
there
is,
will be,
of course, helping. Yeah, Israel is helping the Azeris and the Kurds unofficially. Nobody says it, but I know. Because Israel is with Azerbaijan, and Azerbaijan want their capital back at some point.
Oh, I see. Of course, yeah. Because the Azeris, they want. They're kind of a separatists as well. They're Turks, and the Kurds, of course, have always been kind of a separatist with the other Kurds across Iraq and Turkey. There's a bit of a. I mean, Iran. This is the worry about if Iran ever split or this regime ever falls, is that it could actually mean the separation of Iran as a country. It will fraction. It'll become fractured with all the various.
That is what.
groups.
That is the current plan. Basically, they're hoping to. They're trying to help it happen, right? All of Iran's enemies are trying to make it happen.
Yeah, but the thing was, they were trying the same thing with Iraq as well. A lot of people predicted Iraq would fall and become fractured into three sections: the Kurds in the north, the Sunnis in the center, and the Shiites in the south. It hasn't happened, but then again, Iraq is still kind of a failed state. It's still, there's still terrorist bombings and all sorts of other things going on. Iraq is basically a non-actor in the Middle East at the moment. It's neutralized, if you like, as a power. And I guess that's what the West or anyone that's enemy of Iran would want for Iran. They'll be so embroiled in their own internal conflicts that they won't have time to worry about anyone else. And all their various aspirations for sort of dominance of that region will wither away because they just are too busy infighting.
Well, the Azeris...
And also...
Yeah, go on.
And also another thing. As you know, Banksy, the Iranian government is giving Russia those suicide drones, the Shahid drones. And I'm sure that when that war will be finished, or whatever will be the outcome, they ain't going to forgive Iran for that. I'm sure about it.
Well, Biden is getting close to Iran. Kerry is an Iranian asset.
Oh yeah,
sort,
Obama legacy. Oh, I forgot about it. He's a pupil of Obama. No wonder.
Yes,
but
so
anyway, when Trump will be elected.
Yeah, I hope he's elected.
Oh my God! Sorry, gentlemen. Let me just pause for a second. We have a man that we haven't seen in a while, a legend in his own making. How's it going, Hassan?
Anyway, the Mossad, you may get your wish today about that
Yeah, good. Yeah, good, bro. Yeah, just to give you a little heads up. You realize that Iran's in BRICS, yeah?
Well, they're planning to join the BRICS.
No,
they're not
sorry, I'm just
in the BRICS yet.
You know that you do know they're in BRICS.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I know the inflation.
And you do realize that, like, for example, like Ukraine is supposed to be where the recent war that they've lost, just to show that the power that they're going to fight is not going to be won. And the will of 9 million people is going to just go to shit.
How do you mean?
I'll be brutally honest with you. Like, there's a very
which 9 million people?
Philosopher, Russian philosopher, when he explained the geography of these things that you need to be a successful nation, and until that becomes a greater landmass, you ain't going to be able to achieve that because security defenses require that. Like, for example, Russia has like their subsonics and their...
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Just a moment. You're talking about Kinzel missiles, the ones that were shot from the air by 90s Patriot systems?
Of course there was. Of course there was. In your tiny little brain, of course there was. Something that can't be caught, according to you, can be caught and shot down. Of course, yeah. Only in your tiny little brain.
But
of course.
So what is your point? What's the point? Sorry, Hassan.
The point is that your expectations need to be realistic for that goal to be achievable. And
which goal?
Sadly, our Western goals are not achievable realistically for it to be logically possible to be achieved. Does that make sense to you guys?
Which goals to push Russia back?
What or how about the goal where you get entitled people expecting to be fed from crushed people continuously? How about that expectation?
Which ones? I don't understand. Which
the ones where countries have got more gold, but they've not got a gold mine. Those kind of countries.
Okay. I mean, can you specific?
Yeah. Well, again, like, because then
America is
we then go into another argument, and I really don't want to go into that point. The bit that I do want to explain.
Switzerland has lots of gold.
To be achievable, you need certain things, and sadly, not just goals. Like, for example, you're like I'll give you my most prime example. Like to test a real great weapon system, like subsonic missile, you need a mass of land. like a mass of land, like not a tiny, like not like a little strip of land where it's overpopulated. That won't work. Do you understand?
Are you talking about Israel to test
As much as again, I don't like. As I say, Israel to me is insufficient, and it's not Israel; it's Palestine. To be correct.
Oh, it's Israel, but it's Israel.
Palestine.
Palestine is a colonial name.
Again, you can call it whatever you want.
But
it's a colonial name, so I don't like it.
Let's just get to the.
It's a European word.
Israel's a colonial name. Israel's a colonial
Palestine
name.
is a European word. It's a
whatever.
European word.
Whatever.
It's a European word,
Again,
dude. Sorry,
as
it's
I
not an
said,
Arabic word. It's a
you need
European word.
achievable,
Why do you use European words
Let's
for
not get
an
bogged
ancient
down on that.
logical
Let's
thing?
not get bogged down
You
on
need, like for example, for you to have a
Well, he's talking a lot,
logical,
man. I don't quite
reasonable
understand what he's
weapon
talking about.
system, you need mass of land. Where you
Okay.
could
Is this for
Are
the
you selling
testing?
land?
Are you saying
Are
for
you
the
selling
testing?
land? Are you selling land? Are you selling land?
No, but
No.
So what are you talking
No one
about?
else is for you guys.
Well, when you have some
What
land
I'm
to sell
saying
me
is,
for testing some missiles, I'm interested. So look out,
well,
for
are
good
you saying that
deals.
Israel is?
you're a little bit behind that at the
But,
moment because they've already done that. They've already got that up and going, and it could shit on your Iron Dome. So your point is what?
but what are you saying in the sense that is Israel trying to expand their landmass in order to be able to do these
Yeah, of course it
testing?
is. Well, what was Ukraine 2.0? That's classified as Israel 2.0. And the
What?
plans of them going into Golden Heights and further into Iran and further into, like, there are blueprints of what
Oh, I
they want.
see.
This is not
Okay.
like a
Well, since we,
conspiracy theory.
but the thing is that we control the world, as you know. I
No,
mean,
you
you know
don't,
better than
bro. Do
everyone.
me a favor.
No,
Don't
you
let
know
me
better than
slip
everyone.
up.
Listen, we
Yeah, of
control the
course you
world.
do. When it comes to
No, you do.
Russia, when you
Come
comes
on,
to
man.
Russia, you control.
Come on.
No.
I listen. I listen to Nick Fuentes, and he proved to me that we control the world. So we control the world. So if we have this plan, it's just gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it, and that's it. Just be quiet and just enjoy the show.
Of course, yeah.
Because we control the world, man.
Of course, Epstein.
We made the lights behind you work.
Of
You
course,
know.
yeah, of course. Well, you're
Yeah.
telling me a bunch of lazy people that do
Yes.
nothing apart
Yeah,
from
well.
masturbate over their mothers, all kosher, by the way.
Yes.
Did
Yes,
what?
that's what.
Oh my God.
Mate,
That's
whatever.
yes.
Oh damn! Okay,
Whatever,
look, this
mate.
thing is spiraling downwards.
I
quite
guarantee
rapidly.
he's going to call you a wonky Jew within fucking 30 seconds.
That's okay. I don't mind.
Just waiting for the wonky Jew line.
It's I don't mind. It's low T, low T men, feminine men.
Exactly.
Look, guys.
It's low T, like it's kosher, bro.
Guys,
I get it. It's low T,
I
like
planned to
kosher.
do a 1 hour show, and now it's 3 hours and 11 minutes. So I have exceeded my.
Just a moment.
This is the best
there's
part,
talk
man.
that
What are you talking
Iran
about?
is
This is the
weak.
best last part.
Comical.
But what you have to do is occasionally mute him, just randomly
If
mute
it was
him,
so weak for the last so many
and
years,
then he'll be
that,
great.
Iran
Just
has
let him
gone
speak and then
nuclear,
mute him
and we
after a
need to
minute,
nuke
just for
these
5
people
seconds.
as
Yeah.
being boring.
Gentlemen, I am going to drop off this call and I'm going to end the show because I need to get some sleep. So I do apologize.
Yeah, same here.
But before this
That's
gets
okay, man.
even more crazy than it's headed that way. It's spiraling already out of control.
Do you know a good dentist? By the way,
Yeah, I
can you
do.
recommend?
I do.
dentist?
I don't. And sadly, I don't want to look good.
Anyway,
for you.
Mossad, I have to tell you that when you said that call him a low T man, I thought you were talking initially about his teeth, that he's low on teeth, not on testosterone. But anyway,
Yes, he's low on both.
Gentlemen, I am dropping off. Have a wonderful evening. You guys can continue with this madness or drop off as you will. Thank you and good night. Okay, boys and girls, it's just us. I'm ending this show because I know if I carried on that particular panel, that one was going to go off the rails real quick. I'd like to thank everyone who came on the panel, though. Most appreciated. Mr. Mossad, Simon's I Hate It Here, MC, and of course the crazy mad Turk Hassan. Love you, man. I love you like a crazy brother, but unfortunately, I was just too tired already to go down this road, and just I'm sure that would get very spicy. The thing is, YouTube is already on my back as it is. And it's just way too late in the night for me to get on to start that process. It's 3 hours already. So anyway, thank you guys and girls for coming. Thank you for listening. I'm going to actually play, I think, what I would consider an apt piece of music that goes with this particular evening's show. Remember to like and subscribe in Hafez Reflex. I'll just drop a little link in there in the old chat for that just before on your way out. And like and subscribe this one, or like just this one. It might help somewhere. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows? But if I can get the other one going, the Hafez Reflex, then maybe we can have better panels or more panels or live streams on there. But at the moment, it's too low on the subscriber count for me to bother with that. So yeah, go over there, boost that channel, and then we'll shift everything over there. So maybe YouTube will be kinder. I don't know. But right now, I don't have any motivation for this channel anymore, because there's just someone. It's like almost like vindictive. I feel personally being attacked at this point. So we'll see. Also, yeah, I'm on Twitter at Banksy Style, or yeah, I think it's Banksy Style UK. So go to Twitter as well, follow me there, and that's all my socials. I don't really do TikTok. So yeah, follow me on all the socials. Have yourselves a wonderful evening, and let us play us out with this.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded, man, I'm losing